stopped. So, welcome to episode 2 of Wilhelm's Scream, series 2, God help me, of The Witcher RPG. The story so far as it happened. Hamus and Dagrid disembarked their ship and made their way into the port of Bremervort. And about 30 seconds, roughly speaking, after landing, they were accosted. Or rather, they witnessed an accostation, which is now a word even if it wasn't before.
It sounds like a good word to me.
A young man was being hassled by 3 people of dubious intent for goods which he claimed not to possess. And he begged the aid, like a fool, of Hamus and Dagrid.
It's got to be said, there were better people he could have asked.
To be fair, there were better people he could have asked. However, there were no better people right there at that point. So, you know...
There are those who might disagree with that one.
Yeah, there was literally nobody else in the alley. You know, he could have thrown himself...
There were the people who were mugging him. There were those who might say that they were actually better for him than the people he ended up with.
Yeah, maybe we'll just allow it to have this tavern.
Yes, so while they were initially disinclined to aid the young man, he basically begged, and then Hamus decided to attempt an intimidation, if I recall correctly.
He didn't attempt an intimidation, he performed an intimidation.
Okay,
it was only
successfully.
Partially successful, but it was still an intimidation.
Yes. And basically convinced the leader of the ne'er-do-wells that he was a dangerous Skellige berserker and did they want to fight. And they decided they didn't particularly. So they let the chap go after he'd been beaten. But as part of his negotiations to attempt to gain their aid, he offered the law of surprise. He engaged the law of surprise. Which turned out to be the thing he owned which he did not know, when the first thing he discovered when he returned home, was the inn to which he was returning at the death of his uncle. It's worth saying that the death was a great surprise.
Not the least to the uncle, I would imagine.
Not the least to the uncle. It was... The official verdict from the Watch is natural causes. Because naturally, when you fall down the same stairs several times, breaking almost every bone in your body, naturally you tend to die.
Hopefully.
Yes. But natural causes. So they get to sit through a will reading, met some of the regulars of the inn, and it turned out the uncle had left a portion of the recipe to his famous, but also famously secretive, ale, Wilhelm's Cream. Wilhelm being the uncle in question. Extremely popular. The primary bonus to owning this inn is it's the only place that makes it, and the recipe was divided up between several merchants, a local druid, and the nephew himself, who's the only one who knows how to combine all the ingredients and therefore actually produce the thing. After the will reading, which established that the nephew owned the inn, which he then promptly signed over to Hamus and Dagrid, not without some reluctance, after they offered to let him carry on running the place, while they owned the actual establishment, but didn't have to then become bartenders. There was after that there was a party wake type thing.
It was a wake.
It was a wake, during which the...
Well, most of us were awake anyway. Dagrid was.
Yes, Dagrid adjourned to get some sleep. And during the wake, somebody lobbed a bomb through the window.
As you do.
As you do.
Not awake without some explosions.
It's not a party unless something gets broken. Generally, though, it's not all the windows.
Well, everyone's certainly...
Yep. Well, not everybody is awake now. I believe that Dondrick is not awake at the moment. I believe Dondrick is upside down.
Flat out, yeah.
Yeah. So...
I might be awake, but I'm not conscious.
Okay, if you would like to just quickly go around the table then, and I will start. I'll do it based on my screen because mine's the only one that counts. So, starting left to right, Fishy, would you like to introduce yourselves?
You broke up though. I've got no idea what you said.
Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I figured that's where we were going, but I didn't hear what order you wanted to do it in.
You first.
Right, typically it would be.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, hello, I am Fishy, and I am playing primarily Hamus of Noggle, who is a fine, upstanding citizen who now owns this pub, and does have a few words he wants to say to some people over this whole business of vandalizing it. But I'm also... and we'll not be doing the voice just at the moment because I can't go from one to the other. Playing Blake of Caravan, who is effectively he is the bouncer. He's a mercenary who is currently serving as doorman in this place. Pretty much me done.
Okay. Knight.
Hi, I'm Nightbites. I play both Dagrid, who is currently adjourned to another room and sleeping the sleep of the nearly dead. And I also play Hedavir, who is largely responsible for A, the grenade not going off in the middle of the room, and B, knocking one or two people over in the process.
Yep, he's...
The phrase, blow me down with a feather, comes kind of to mind.
Ouch.
Swept off my feet.
Yes, you met Hadavir, and yeah, you have indeed been knocked off your feet. So, Spard, new to this stream, although not new to streams overall. We know you of old.
I am of old, am I?
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Hello, I am Spud. I am playing Auburn, the dwarf of ill repute, who you will not have seen before, but Drut knows the antics of well from some other games we've played with him in, where he could be ridiculous at times. I fully expect him to die within the first couple of sessions.
It's good to know that...
I will cry.
Right, I will bear that in mind. Going down, and Felix.
Yes, my name is Felix. I am playing Dondrick Mallard, an armorer and co-owner of Loic and Ways and Mean by Loic and Mallard, military outfits and adventuring procurement par excellence. I need to stab Anno for knowing words under phrase of. Yes, currently armor currently knocked out.
Okay. Yeah, currently spark out and upside down against a wall.
Yeah.
Thanks to Hadavir. But it was preferable to what would have happened had the bomb gone off in the room. And finally, Monty.
Yeah, hi, Monty. I play Nelmas, the uncharismatic blacksmith who works at Ways and Means.
Okay.
And I am currently standing because I rolled a ridiculous roll the last thing we did last time.
Yeah, everybody else was knocked adrift, and you're just standing there going, huh?
Was that a breeze? Did something happen?
Yeah, the hair just goes to the whole. Woof. That's it. Yeah, we are without Loic the merchant this week because his player has the temerity to want some time off and go on holiday.
Not on.
I know, it's just, it's out of order. And due to circumstances, for the druid, Juniper the druid from previous sessions, unfortunately won't be in for further games. So we're without those. So currently those two are polymorphed to NPC. And we will sort them out. Okay, so the windows have blown in.
Yes.
What are you guys doing?
Well, at the end of the last session, I established that Blake was going behind the bar and retrieving his crossbow.
Yep.
Obviously, as soon as he has got his crossbow, he's going to be heading out the front door in search of whoever threw this bomb, loading it as he goes. But anyone else who moves quickly is going to get there before him because he's got to take that diversion. So that will include, of course, Hamus, who will be getting himself back up to his feet and heading out the door at some speed.
Right.
Right, is it possible to cast while moving, or do I have to be static to cast?
Generally, it's concentration. You can't do anything really complicated while casting, but I see no reason
I'm
you can't.
basically thinking,
walk and
heading
move.
for the door, summoning my staff.
Oh, yep. I'm happy with that.
So by the time I get to the door, I'm staff in hand.
You've got to like any system that lets you just call your staff to your hand, Mjolnir style. That's always fun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm just waiting now for that crash, ding, 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 as it heads down the stairs. Crump.
One more second.
Sorry, I'm now having a Thor Ragnarok moment.
Yeah.
Still need to see that.
Yes.
We're all always having a Thor Ragnarok
It's
moment.
excellent.
At
It is
all
excellent.
times.
I also like Stephen Strange, though, so that was perfect for me. Right. Dondrick is currently spark out, upside down. Well, he's not unconscious, but he's not in his happy place.
Stunned. He has
Yes.
little anvils going around his head.
He does. He has little anvils with wings tweeting around his head at the moment.
He has a little hammer as well with wings banging on it.
Okay. So as people go pounding out of the front door, Monty, what is Nell doing?
I mean, she's probably just checking to see if Dondrick and Loic are still,
Yeah.
alive, because those are the people she actually knows.
Yeah, Loic was knocked sideways. Juniper will head out as well after Hamus and Blake. But instead of looking around, you'll see her turn off and head across the marketplace, hands in pockets, looking really annoyed.
Determined to be away from where things explode. I would
Basically, yes. Becoming a beneficiary and having a party is one thing. Having bombs thrown at your head, that puts a different complexion on things.
imagine. Yes, I would imagine it does.
Yes. So, what we're going to do is we are now going to spin back time about 20 minutes or so. Yeah. And Auburn hops off the
On
cart.
a rooftop with a bomb.
Remind me, how tall is Auburn?
He's quite short even for a dwarf. I think he's like 3'2".
Yep, that sounds about right. That's fine.
He's the least butch dwarf that has ever existed.
You're absolutely sure he's not a halfling, yeah?
He thinks so.
Well, they had a halfling milkman.
Things start getting very complicated when you get into halflings, though.
A half-halfling.
Oh wow.
Please tell me that somebody has created the quarterling.
Oh god, yeah. That's existed
What
in
is a
multiple
link,
places
though? What is a
independently
link?
already.
Like
There's
a
an image.
pixie.
Oh.
A pixie and a halfling. Carry on.
The Pixie and the Halfling sounds like a really dodgy pub.
Yeah.
As opposed
Well,
to...
I guess
Change the name.
Or
if you
possibly,
need to rename the Tusk coin.
It's
or
a
possibly
quarter
the
pub.
alternate title to Stereophonics, The Bartender and the Thief.
Yes! I like. Okay. She says, just opening up Lords and Lands because she wants to make sure of something before she says it.
Smart.
Yes, I know.
Sources.
Ah. You see, yes,
Thinking before speaking.
I actually have
Never
access.
heard of it.
Lords and Lands is the Nobles rules for Witcher. It's also the GM screen.
I thought you said lords and lads. And I went, yes.
The Lords and Lads.
No. So, let me just check. Yeah. That's fine. How tall are they? Right.
Oh my god, you can all see the mattress that's just been on my floor since Friday.
Well, we weren't
I haven't
looking
been
at
bothered
it.
to put it on yet. I keep either video gaming or sleeping.
Oh, God.
Very
Get off the floor!
You're hopeless. You have no common sense, do you? Your common sense is negligible. Mutated halflings. What, sorry? Okay, right.
That's quarterly.
Halflings can experience mutations just like anybody else can. But it only really works properly on witches. Everybody else gets the bad effects of mutations. Just saying. Right. So.
Don't give me all your halflings.
Right. So yes, Orban hops off the cart into which he had hitched a lift on his last portion of his journey through Sedaris. Sedaris is his place of birth, apparently. So he was told. But you got kicked out of it a while ago. And having...
Ow! There was just, I wanted to see the world, and there were unforeseen circumstances which could lead to the misunderstanding that I was kicked out. But, civil.
I understand. You've got to finance your gap year somehow. So, yes. You have returned to the nation of Sedaris, but rather than the eastern portion, which is where you actually started, you have made your way to the far west, to the city of Bremervort, a town you know to be ruled by someone whose occupation used to be listed as pirate, and where you're fairly sure they have a reasonably lax attitude towards personal property and the acquisition thereof. That's what you've heard. So, after a combination of walking and hitching, you have wound up in the marketplace of Bremervort, with very little to your name except a small bundle, because you're only little, of ouch fish, of small clothes. That makes it sound like your underwear. Of well, you probably do have a bundle including that, but how many spares you've got, I don't know. I'm not getting into dwarven boxes. Hello, why is that suddenly opened? What's going on? And all your worldly goods. So you
Absolutely does not include chloroform.
Yep, no chloroform round here. So, yes, you hop off and you are in the main marketplace. Looking around, it's quite crowded. Most people are taller than you. Though there are a mixture of both humans and the various non-human races. So there are a couple of elves and some dwarves plying their trades. And indeed shopping. Which is a nice sight to you, given some of the crap you've seen in other nations of the north, where, frankly, the Scoia'tael ruined everything for everybody. Oh, Tail's frozen. Could you blink and show me that? Yeah,
I
Just unnaturally
to
still.
move.
Please blink. Please blink.
Please blink.
please
Occasionally
blink.
demonstrate some basic respiration for us so that we can be sure.
Sorry, could you just quickly prove that your heart is beating?
Yes. Looking around and trying to get your bearings, you see at the end of a short stretch of road facing the marketplace a large and imposing inn. You can tell it's an inn. It's got a big inn sign, barrel tables outside,
And there's
loads
people
of seating.
inside.
And you can see people, yes, moving inside, both through the door and through the window. And the inn is, yes, called the Tossed Coin, judging by the Dirty Great signs swinging from the hook. So unfortunately, the joke is lost on you because I don't think you've seen the series.
I have not, but it's kind of a big enough cultural thing that I do know the reference.
Yeah.
It's a good joke. You just know that it's a good joke.
Yep.
That's all we need to know.
It
Laugh.
is.
Either an
Why
inn
aren't
or
you
it's a place
laughing?
where they lynch signs.
Ow! Ouch, fish.
Well, you're just making an assumption that that sign meant it was an inn. I just wanted to make sure that there was an alternative explanation.
What, the sign was hanging from a hook because what, it offended somebody?
Because it had been lynched, yeah, and this
Yes.
is where that kind of thing happens. You know.
Someone tossed a coin at it.
Yeah.
Okay. This seems like an almost reasonable place to
Temporarily.
find drink and sustenance and easy marks and things like that.
And also a base of operations where I can rest and then sneak out of at night. I mean, not sneak out of. There's nothing wrong with going for a midnight stroll.
No, no.
Yeah.
A lot of people enjoy that.
It's not
Like
sneaking
does
if
that
no one
quite regularly.
cares.
It's not sneaky if nobody notices,
And
apparently.
if you're
No, that's
very
sneaky.
quiet about it, that's only because you don't know how safe the streets are at night.
Right.
Anyway, I'm going in.
Okay. You start heading towards there. And from the side of the building, you get to make me a perception check.
You mean awareness?
Yes. Shut up.
Just say I'm
Called out.
genuinely checking!
No, you do.
D&D 5e who?
Never heard of
Oh, that's don't.
That's
I tend to go with perception for, and then largely let people sort their own lives out as to what I'm actually talking
that. I
about.
say words and everyone else
To
translates them.
translate what she says to the game system
Yeah.
you're actually playing.
Yes.
That's how I do it too.
Yes. It's my brain and everybody else just lives in it. Right. Trying to find the character sheet, which it would be ever so handy to have up. Just so I can remind myself.
No, his awareness is 2, and well, his awareness is rank 2,
Intelligence, I
and then on top of that there's
Okay. So, you're on...
intelligence 6. So, yeah, 13.
Yeah, okay, total of 13. Sorry, I was just fishing behind several windows then. Which is always jolly to have to do. And it doesn't make you look like a complete chimp at all.
That's how the DM do.
Yep. That's Coriolis, go away. Right. Okay, that's good enough. Yes, darting down the side of the building. The right-hand side as you look at it. You see a small figure. Orban, if I recall correctly, habitually wears basically darkish, nondescript clothes and a cloak, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not
You're-
recently under that, but
You're looking at somebody in a dark hooded cloak. Maybe a little shorter than you, but only slightly. And as they sprint down the side, they pull something from a bag they're holding and throw it backhanded through the window of the inn. And then come bombing in your direction. Ironically. As they sprint towards you and pause by the corner of a nearby stall. You're reasonably sure you're the only one who's spotted this. Everybody else is busy with their purchases, they're buying, they're selling. About 5 seconds later, there is a loud smash as something flies out of the window. And then there is an explosion. Red flame blossoms and the windows go in.
In.
In the inn. Make me another awareness. Because this is kind of distracting. Yeah, okay, I'll take that. The short figure glances around and looks at you directly and comes running towards you.
No.
No witnesses.
No.
You have an impression of bright blue eyes under a dark hood. And a panicked voice says, Could you look after this? I'm in so much trouble if I'm caught. And they thrust the bag at you.
Which is like that bit in Skyrim with that guy who just runs up to you in the middle of nowhere. Hold on to this, I'll be back for it. He never returns.
No, I know.
Yep.
He never finds you again.
Here, take the fall for my crime.
And you're standing there holding a leather satchel.
Get rid of it. Hide it. I'm pretty sure I just got framed for a crime.
And then the figure turns and vanishes into the crowd. Right, so where was
Pretty
Dagwood
certain practice
going out?
paranoia is ringing like nobody's business right now.
Technically, it's not actually putting you in... Well, it's not actually causing you harm.
Yes.
Yeah, like hell it isn't.
Practice paranoia
There are
works.
2 armed fishy PCs coming this way with a grudge.
It's not paranoia if it's true.
2 on fishy PCs and a night PC.
Yes! Right, so,
Dagwood was out and about on the town, just trying to
yeah.
get a lay of the land, see
Yeah.
what the districts were, what sort of areas were where.
Was he doing it from ground level, or was he doing it from some rooftop work?
Ground level, because he doesn't know enough to trust the rooftop work yet.
That's fair. Okay. So, right, he already knows how the docks relate to this location. So he will have been able to orbit round, possibly starting from the major landmarks, and start lining things up. Church, marketplace, inn, port, selection of large houses, main shopping district. You can sort this out. You can start to get the lie of the land on this. So, unfortunately, therefore, he isn't around at the moment. Which I swear is because you don't want to do the accent at the moment. But it's valid. It is perfectly valid. So, it's going to be Hamus, unfortunately, who is in the lead because he shifted himself first.
Yep.
So, what is Hamus's awareness?
Amos's awareness. Right. So, do you want me to roll it or just tell you?
Just tell me.
Okay, so he has 6 in awareness and an intelligence also of 6. So that's
Okay.
12 plus a dice.
Right, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Give me a sec.
Okay, that's some serious doing things behind the GM screen there.
I'm not expecting Drut to turn up either in costume when the camera comes back on, or with a massive prop.
No, it's all right. I haven't got any massive props. Okay. Anyone who wants to use anything I might use as a massive prop is currently in a sword bag in my hall.
Sorry.
Somebody's just alerts just go off. Did
I've
somebody's
just got
there?
told dinner's ready, so that's
Okay.
coming up.
Not a problem.
And has to get past the mattress that has been blocking my way in and out from this computer for days now. It'd be very simple to move it, but that would require the slightest bit of effort.
Listen, it's exercise.
Yes.
You gotta lift your legs a bit more.
Besides, you want to get some exercise in. You never know, you might end up quarantined and therefore need the mattress. Come
Build an
on.
obstacle course in your room.
Yeah. Yes. How are you fulfilling your duties of keeping active while still being inside a small quarantined area? Well, I have to vault over my mattress.
I'm indebted to you there for just giving me an explanation that I can now give people for the state of my flat. I've got an obstacle course in case I have to be quarantined in here. Sorted.
Fair enough.
Perfect fish. Perfect.
It is. It works absolutely spot on. And no, I'm not sure where that accent's coming from.
Accents, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is potentially Orban's romantic interest fish, as you said. I mean, Drut did say that she was determined that she was going to put multiple people in, so I wouldn't know who it was. Like, various people it could be. So it might be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drat is a great believer in filling an area with interesting NPCs who may or may not have any relevance to anything
Yeah,
that happens.
basically,
But
the rest of
It's a
you
really
are
good way of
playing
doing
an
things.
investigation game. I'm playing a dating sim. A criminal dating sim.
A criminal dating sim.
Right.
Stealing feelings and sweeping legs.
Ouch.
Stealing hearts, I should say. That would have been better.
Oh god, Stealing Hearts is, yes, absolutely the name of the dating sim version of this game.
Email Outstar and tell her that she needs to make it the sequel to Cold Hearts.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Is that what happens when you have like the picnic version of the appliances or the portable ones? Run off the 12 volt on your car. Now I've got a Cold Hearts road trip in mind. Right. Let's just give people something to look at.
That isn't us. But we're beautiful, Drat.
Yeah.
Do you not see the
guys-
holy light coming off from above and making me so pleasant to look at every single time I'm on this stream?
You see, I was just referring to the fact that I wanted people to be able to see the inn instead of the darkened screen. But, you know, potato, potato. So, God almighty. I have
Yeah.
plot and everything, and, it's all working so well.
You know, the name Taliesin does in fact mean radiant forehead. True story.
I know. I think I've read that at some point, so I believe you.
That's funny. That's very funny.
That's okay. I think most of the names of, for me, will all work out basically to blessed by God or something.
Oh, dude.
In various different
All the
languages,
ones
which
in
is
there.
ironic. So, Fishy, Hamus
Yes.
spots, not that far from the front of the inn,
Oh no.
a short figure in dark cloak, holding what looks like a leather satchel and staring at the tossed coin.
This is really disappointing to me because I love PC on PC fights. It's like you get them all the time in the comic books as well, don't you? It's like Spider-Man versus whatever the new hero in town is because they don't know who each other are. And that's
Yeah.
I love those things, but unfortunately, the way Hamus's brain works, if if he is standing there and not running, he obviously didn't do it.
Okay.
You've probably got a bit of a deer in the headlights expression, like.
Okay,
Oh, which is
Auburn.
very bad, Thief. Which is
Auburn.
very bad.
All right, where did they go? Did you see them?
Just point after them. Just shove the satchel at Hamus and point after them.
Okay, Hamus will grab the satchel with his left hand because he's got a stiletto in his right hand at the moment.
You know what? This person tried to frame me. I'm following Hamus.
And over his shoulder, he is yelling back, "You there, big lad, keep an eye on this one," and then running off down
Oh,
that
can I not follow Hamus?
alleyway.
Well, it's entirely between you and
And the
the
big lad who
people
hasn't actually
following
come out yet because he's
No.
getting his crossbow.
yeah,
It depends how quickly I got to the door.
yeah. So yes, presumably he thinks the big lad's referring to Hadavir.
Could be, yes.
Okay,
Everyone's
so
a big lad compared to Auburn, let's face it.
And if Auburn's taken off after Hamus, then I'm taking off after Hamus.
right, Hamus.
Cue yakety sax.
I was
You're-
thinking the same thing, Fish.
No.
I so need that as a sample for something. I need a proper soundboard.
Yes.
I did
they're
source
really
that
useful.
back in the day. I can't remember what we were playing that I sourced it for. Possibly Fandelver.
I think it was Vandelver, yeah.
I think we were using it when Sproglet did things.
Oh, yes. I have a feeling, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
He didn't blow up the pub anyway.
Parts of
Auburn's
myself.
interest didn't blow up the pub. All you know about Auburn's potential love interest, number one, is that
His first option.
they are
The first one
short,
he did.
have blue eyes, and wear a dark cloak.
That sounds perfect for Auburn.
Yeah, matching.
Yes. But as you say, I do like just putting people in. So,
I'm running down this alleyway.
okay. This satchel that you had thrust into your hands,
Yeah.
what are you doing with it?
At the moment, just holding it. Is it particularly heavy?
It is not heavy at all, but it chinks.
Right, so there
Or
is something
clinks.
in it.
Yeah. Clink
Oh,
is
great.
a better
I'm going to
term.
blow myself up by not taking care of this satchel full of alchemical gear.
You shake it very hard and see what happens. That's how
Yeah.
you test things.
Toss it over your shoulder, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Stomp on it.
Toss a bomb to your witcher.
Toss a bomb to your dwarf.
Here, catch! Doink!
Oh, framing a murder. Oh, framing a murder. Mhm.
Oh, dear God. And there's me doing a search now for bombs. Just because I'm curious as to how badly you could miss it.
I hope you're doing that in the Witcher rulebook PDF and not just generally on the internet.
Would I? Parrying bombs.
That's what I tried, surely.
Yep,
Well, no, I tried to catch it. But
yes.
I tried to parry it.
It's actually
Yeah,
a
you did.
Witcher ability is being able to parry a bomb.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Handy.
I mean, if they can parry arrows, it
Yeah.
should be able to
I
parry
mean,
bomb.
all you need is a baseball bat. I don't see the issue.
yes, it
The
shouldn't be
difference
that
between
hard.
arrows
Any
and
club.
bombs is an arrow doesn't shatter on impact, covering you in explosive liquid.
That is true.
That's why you swing away
That
from
is
you.
true.
Nor does a well-made
So they
sword.
come at the
point.
guy between next to you instead.
Bombs and explosives hit everywhere, dealing their damage to every location separately. Oh,
Every location. All of them. Just all of them.
yep. Yep.
I think that means hit location, not that they actually explode with such a wide range that they take out the entire continent.
Who's to say?
One
Depends how many
bomb.
successes they roll.
Yeah, and to be fair, that does... Oh, hello, that went wrong.
Apparently, I haven't downloaded the Witcher PDF. I
Yeah,
only
I did.
downloaded the errata. For some
Oops.
reason.
Okay.
Whoop. Let's go back to drive through RPG and fix that.
Okay.
Down.
Oh, I do like it when occasionally it has a tizzy and decides not to fill in the text for something. It just sort of obscures it. It's really weird. Devil's Puffball. The thing is, what it's obscured is the bombs. There we go. It was, yes. I'm just checking it was the right one, basically. Because I wouldn't want to have done anything really horrible. Yeah, it was a dancing star. Okay, that's cool. I thought it was, and then I just had a... But did I remember it wrong? Was it in fact a dragon's dream? A dragon's dream would have taken out most of the building.
So let's say it wasn't. Sure.
Let's say it wasn't. Also, that's the one that creates a cloud of flammable gas.
Don't like that.
Nope. No.
You know what? That sounds bad.
The idea being you lob one of those, create a cloud of flammable gas, and then basically put any kind of spark into it.
If only there was a mage that had a fiery type spell.
No, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, Hadavir doesn't have any fiery type spells.
Good.
Okay.
But I'm regretting it.
Yeah. Okay, now somebody getting now into cigars, not actually to smoke them, just purely so they can light them and then just go.
Yeah. I need to build better armor is all I'm hearing.
Yeah. Okay, so you're heading off after the person who's vanished. So Hadavir is indeed following, pardon me, Hamus, who is being followed by a short person in a cloak. Somebody in a cloak is chasing Hamus.
Was I
You can
out
tell
of
they are
the
the
toss
closest
coin in
thing that the
time
dwarven race has to a twink.
Hang on. Sorry, Knight, would you repeat that?
Yep. Was I out of the tossed coin in time to see an exchange between the two?
No.
Or am I literally just seeing Hamus being chased by this short
You are
one?
literally just seeing Hamus being chased.
Oh dear. Does it look like Hamus is running for his life, or...
I think it probably looks more like he's running for someone else's.
Hamus is running through the marketplace with a dedicated body language.
I'd like to point out that Auburn is incredibly unintimidating to look at. Like, it would take a lot to assume that Hamus was running from Auburn.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah, because you don't know Hamus, so he's just a fairly
he
big
just
skeleton.
looks massive.
Yeah,
Now, Dagrid might think Hamus was running away from Auburn.
no, Dagrid has seen Hamus face down psychotic terrorist elves.
only the one.
Yeah, but if a fight had started, he'd have run away from the psychotic terrorist elf.
Fair. Yeah, fortunately the psychotic terrorist elf didn't know that.
No.
And anyway, he was
Which
more
is precisely
interested.
the point.
He was more interested in getting his wife back anyway.
Another
So,
problem, Gallagher,
Yeah,
wear
so
a big
I
hat.
shall carry on with the chase for the moment.
okay, so yep, Yakety Sack's definitely kicking in
Yep,
at this
very much
stage.
Any minute now, we're going to get to the section where we start seeing the villain and Auburn and Hamus coming in and out of different alleyways all
And
over
it
the
also
place.
goes Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So, Hamus has got a base 12 in his awareness, yeah?
He has indeed, yes.
Okay. So, you think you see a flicker of cloak that attracts your attention. Much the same as the tail end of the cloak that you saw when the person who thrust the bag at you pointed in that direction.
There is no standing around assessing things in a situation like this.
Nope.
So if that's the first thing he's seen that looks like it's them, that's where he's going.
Yep. That was a good enough
Immediate
roll that he
action
can do
is
that.
the only way.
Yep. Yep. Hamus thinking things through, not happening. So,
Not a common thing.
exactly. Okay. So you chase through the crowded marketplace. Would you like to make me an athletics check in order to be able to work your way through the crowd without barreling into people?
Athletics. Not one of my better things, especially when I do that. Yes.
Oh.
Not as we mean to go on. So that's a -8 on the die roll.
Okay.
Wow.
So grand total of 3 on my
Right.
athletics check.
Okay.
So whose pigsty do I end up head first in?
Okay. It's not a pigsty. You'll be pleased to hear. However, as you
Cabbages!
as you zig and attempt to zag, somebody steps back into you. You step around them, and someone else on your left turns around and catches you at the knees with their sack that they were looking into, and trips you headfirst into a open crate filled with pottery.
While holding a bag full of bombs.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm glad I have a second character. I think I may need him.
Bye. Nice knowing you.
So, you can basically see this headed towards you. It's earthenware vessels and things. That's going to hurt anyway if you end up impacting it wrong. So,
One of those moments where everything goes into slow motion and you can see exactly what's coming, but there's nothing.
okay, I will allow you an athletics check to attempt...
Because those have gone so well for me so far.
Yep. To attempt
Okay.
basically a breakfall, so you hit with your shoulder, which is better clad than with your face.
And not the satchel.
And coincidentally, yes, not the satchel that you've got in front of you.
Part of my brain is saying, well, I've just had a terrible roll on Fantasy Grounds, so Fantasy Grounds should give me a better one now. And the other part of my brain is saying, stay away from the demon machine and roll a real die.
See, because
We'll
physical
go
damage,
with
you
real
can punish,
dice for this one.
you
Yeah.
can punish them when they fail.
Just
Digital
check.
damage
This
doesn't do
gets your
anything.
1 and Auburn dies.
That's a fairly crappy roll. Comes up at a 14.
Okay. That is enough.
Purely because Hamus is really, really dexterous,
Yeah.
despite that previous evidence.
Okay, so basically...
No, it doesn't. It comes up at an 11. Why did I think it was a 14?
Is it 11? Ooh, that's not good.
That's why I thought it was an 11, because the last roll said plus 11 on it, and I just assumed that was my stat, but that was... Ah, no, wait, that's the whole thing. Yeah, it is 14, I was right.
You're trying. Is that your final answer? Would you like
Sorry,
to phone a friend?
I just got
Well,
confused
yeah.
about the numbers there for a second. Yes, it is 14.
Numbers are complicated.
Yeah. I have an 8 stat plus 3 athletic skill, which is the 11 that I'd originally added, and then I was
Gotcha.
looking at the 8 stat and going, hang on, no, that's not right.
That's not right at all.
So,
Right.
So it is right,
Okay.
14.
You find yourself crumped and you hear a smash under your shoulder. Let's see. Does Hamus wear armour?
What's that then?
So just normal clothes, yeah?
Just normal clothes, yeah.
Okay. In which case, let's go with an odds and evens to see if this actually does any damage. Because earthenware vessels actually aren't that sharp. It's, easily broken, thick,
Yeah.
and more likely to dust than shard. Okay. Odds you're alright. However, your alright is lying now largely on your back with your feet in the air. The satchel under your right arm over your chest. And with crumpled vessels under your shoulders.
Yeah.
And a really irate stall holder.
Well, Hamus will obviously scramble back to his feet.
Okay.
I'll be back to deal with these. Look, take this in the meantime. Shove the satchel at him, and then head off back in the direction I was originally running.
Is everybody keeping track of who's got the bomb?
It's part of the bomb.
It really is. It's a game of hot literal hot potato.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, God. I've just got visions now of somebody just starting it, and it's just a fizz. Please note who has the bomb. Okay.
Just have this image of the stall holder now.
Since Hamus crashed, does this give Orban a chance to catch up?
I would think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
In
It
fact,
does.
it'd be quite funny if he just catches up, leaps over Hamus, and keeps running.
Well, I will take an athletics check to do so. You basically be parkouring over the crate that Hamus is half in.
Oh, honey.
Or
Still
Hamus's head, as
17.
the case may be.
Even at a 2, it's still 17.
Okay.
Because Albany's
You're
ridiculous.
more athletic
when it
than
comes
me.
to athletics.
Yep. Yeah, it's just as Hamus clambers out of the crate, Orban comes bombing past, one hand on the side of the crate, vaults round him, and keeps going. Hamus, you are covered in pot shards
Yes.
and dust and clay. And you're learning some of the local vernacular as it's hurled at you by this austere-looking woman with massive muscular forearms, who is the stall holder. Okay, where are you running to now?
Well, I'm going to have to continue in the only direction that I had.
Okay, and Knight.
Following the short one,
Right.
which means I might be careering straight into poor Hamus. Because I don't have athletics and my dex is not that great.
Right, so you're running basically based on the, if I carry a big stick and run straight at people, the odds are good they're going to get out of my way.
Funnily enough, that's exactly what I do have a big stick.
Oh, are you gonna use the stick to waltz over him? Like in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think using the stick as a pole vault whilst amusing would require skills I still don't have.
You can attempt almost anything based on your stat.
Break the stick. I beg
I
you.
should
Never
not
trust
have
that
that.
eyelash butter.
Oh, does it show on camera? I've never been sure.
Yes, it shows every time, Drot.
Damn. I thought it only showed up if I used mascara.
Does that mean that I can use my body and just keep on going and ignore anything in between?
Theoretically. Okay. So, it's going to be... You're going to be knocking people askew. Unless you're actually warning them you're coming through.
Well, I'm following two other people who are already running, so mostly I'm assuming that people will be parting anyway.
Okay.
If they're not, then out the way! Move it!
Excellent! Right. Let's see if they
Straight
do.
into the Assassin's Creed 1 mini-game thing that I hated so much that I never even played the game.
Oh, that batting people gently
Couldn't get
aside.
through the damn tutorial.
Yeah.
No, I hate that. I really
I love the
do.
shove button in the second game though. The shove button is awesome.
It's like you're swimming through them.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Right.
that doesn't sound good. That does not
Well-
sound good.
The first couple are fine, but unfortunately, your path leads you, as you see Orban's cloak vanishing around the corner of a stall, through a largish gentleman who seems quite intent on the fish he's purchasing. And your cry of, "Oi, get out of the way," appears to go unheard.
Oh dear.
And you barrel straight into the back of him. That's a natural 1 on his awareness. He's really, really focused on this pike. So, Hadavir, what is Hadavir's body?
8.
Right.
Just going
When you
from
said
one fish
big
being
fella,
crushed
that's
to the
immediately
next.
why I thought he was talking to me.
Yeah.
Because Hadavir is not small.
Okay, so I would like you to roll me a d10 plus body, please.
D10 plus body. Okay.
Yep.
Can I roll body?
You can just roll a
from here?
d10 normally. Pick up and drag a d10 into the chat box.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll just like a D10. That gives me 16.
Okay.
For those who might find the tip useful, by the way, the modifier box down in the bottom left,
I forgot about
if you
that.
just stick your stat into that and then roll a d10, it'll give you a d10 plus stat roll quite nicely.
Right.
In fact, yep, I've just checked. You can, in fact, drag the number from your stat boxes on the character sheets down into the modifier to drop it straight in there and then roll the die.
Thank you.
Okay. Unfortunately, Hadavir does overwhelm the body of the fish buyer,
I thought he might.
who goes down like a sack of spuds in front of you. So in order to not trip over him, I would like an athletics check, please.
Oh, crap.
Because otherwise you've just done a really good rugby tackle.
So,
I'll get back to you guys in a minute, in the inn. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten you.
Carry on, it's fine.
It's just this literally isn't taking more than a minute or two, so
I'm actually just gonna take this moment to run away with it.
nobody else has. Yes, Loic's buggering off at this stage.
So basically, that's just Dex then.
Yep. Technically doesn't have it at all.
So I could drag my Dex number to the modifier and then roll my D10.
Yep.
Well, I rolled the D10. It rolled a 7, but it didn't register. And it's in the chat box.
Okay.
That's weird.
I think
It's
it's
definitely
done
not
that
come up.
before, actually.
Try that again.
So, yeah. I am willing to trust you for your 7, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
So that would be what, 11?
Yeah. Okay, unfortunately, although it's good enough that you're not going to end up flat on your face, you do stumble over him and have lost all momentum
Dang it.
and also all sight
Sorry.
of Auburn.
Booger.
So your pursuit has kind of ground to a halt and you're being sworn at in an accent you're not familiar with, but that anybody who knows Hamus would recognise as Skellige, which no, I am not trying.
There you eat, coward, you.
Yes. Mate, I have to do South African and Russian. I am not even touching
See, I'm more careful than
Irish.
that. I don't have to do real world accents. I only have to do Skellige.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not too well, it's fine.
I'm just so bad at accents.
It's so weird though that Redania suddenly have like a vague Swedish accent. I don't know where that came from.
Yep, but it does now.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever region I'm from, vague Swedish accent.
Okay, so let me just open something, or not open something. That makes it sound like let me just open something at random. Another file. I don't care. Let's see. There
Did I
we
spell-
go.
Don't think I did.
Battery RAM doesn't need to be dexterous. Okay. That's the beastie. Now I've got the character sheet up so I can remind myself of the skill names. Right. So. Auburn. Make me an awareness check, please.
Sorry.
Auburn, who is the only person currently With
Oh
any
my God, what did I
chance.
just do? Sorry. I just managed to screw up the entire interface. It's okay though.
Okay. I've deleted the internet.
I hate when that happens.
There we go.
Whoa.
17.
Nice.
Okay.
Orban sees everything. The mysteries of the universe unfold before his dwarfen eyes.
Yes, if anyone's ever seen X, the man with X-ray eyes, that's not necessarily a good thing. Okay. Didn't realise it was Lovecraftian until the end. Okay.
I mean, Cthulhu's been here all along, so I don't know what
Okay.
you expected.
Orban's awareness expands to fill the entire space. No, looking around, you are damn certain you no longer have eyes on your target. There are a few people in similar colour cloaks. It's not an uncommon look. But without, you don't have to do the run up behind them, grab them, and it's the wrong person. You can tell from here you've lost them.
Damn it. Is there anyone like reacting as if someone ran just past them?
No. No. Not that you can see.
Everyone's too busy laughing at the Skellige.
There does appear to be a fight gearing up, or at least swearing gearing up behind you where the Skellige went into the pots.
I may just take my leave.
Okay, Hamus, you cannot see the person you were pursuing. However, you can see the short arse who thrust the satchel at you screech to a halt and look around like a meerkat.
Man, that tell his great hairy ones. Where's the bigger one?
That's up there with Time Warber's beard.
Yep. I don't know why I do that. I just always do.
Yes, fair enough.
It works.
Did you see where they went? You, the short fella.
Hamus is quite tall, isn't he?
Hamus is about
Same as
6
the
foot, yeah.
Yeah.
God,
Should like reach his. Do you even reach his stomach?
quite possibly not.
You
I could
basically,
possibly reach like halfway up.
you're basically hip height to him. This is like me fighting Greg on Tuesdays.
Orban is potentially the most dangerous opponent.
Never, ever, ever let him headbutt you. Right. Was it your cousin's other half who's demonstrated where a punch goes straight out to at the shoulder?
Yeah.
4 foot nothing or something. Okay.
She is short. I can't remember how tall she is now, but very short. She is from mainland China originally. And my cousin is slightly taller than me.
Okay. So we will leave you picking yourselves up there and an interrogation about to start. And head back to the inn. Loic has muttered something about wanting to make sure the shop's okay and departed. And the bartender, Bernie, has come round and has basically offered you a glass of something that smells quite some... Well, you wouldn't want to have an open flame over it.
Nice. Yeah, when Loic mentioned going back to the shop, I probably had enough of my senses just sort of like wave approvingly, just yeah, sure. Still kind of out of it.
Okay. So, do either of you have the alchemy skill?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have 1 rank.
Okay.
I have 2 plus crafting, which means I have a total of plus 11 in alchemy.
I also
Okay.
have a total of plus 11 in alchemy. It also says X2 next to it
Okay.
in Fancy Ground, and I don't know what that means.
That
That's because you
means...
need it. double ranks to level it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have 12 in that case.
No, it's
No.
basically you need to put 2 points into it in order to raise it by a point. It's considered a difficult skill.
Okay, which I assume I did when I.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
pretty
I
sure I
remember when you guys created. Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
my
have a vague memory of that thing. Yeah. So
That's
yeah, 11
fine.
in that case.
That's
as
cool.
well.
So, sorry, my hair was just flopping in my eye. It was
Okay.
really starting to annoy me. Okay, so I will take an alchemy check off the pair of you.
2 people using physical dice. Ooh, that's a 10! Oh, look at me! I get to explode.
Yes.
That's
got
a
the
9.
one.
Ooh, yikes.
Okay.
I need to math. Wait. What? This is insane, by the way. I just want
minus
to point
3,
out.
so that's math. 8.
Okay.
30.
Well,
Did it explode? Yes. I rolled a 10, followed by a 9. Because I am apparently catching up from my utter failure last time.
Yes. Yeah. Well, to be fair, that was a big, big failure. Okay, so yeah, you've got the sliced goose egg on your head, but even so, you know, the smell that sort of wafts in through the window, and looking at the sheer blast pattern of the glass, it lines up in your head that this could have been a lot worse.
Oh.
This bomb was designed to set fire to things.
Ah.
It was not designed to fully blow things up. This was not a demolition.
This was a napalm.
This was napalm, basically, yeah.
Cool. Love that.
This was, in fact, you're familiar with the name, although you don't know how to make it. It's not something that falls in your bailiwick. You'd actually have to, research the diagram or pick one up. It's a dancing star. They can be purchased commercially. They are used for clearing. Basically, they are fire bombs. They are used for clearing things. They are used for dealing with infestations of insects, what have you.
Yeah.
By insects, I obviously don't mean cockroaches.
Guardians.
Yeah. So I'm like the first thing I do probably once I start getting out of my stun is I start looking around and I start putting these pieces together, and I just go. And I just look at Nell kind of like, I think they were trying to burn the inn down.
Okay.
why would you? Why? They would
And I look around and realize
scatter
everyone else
for
is
a while.
gone.
They don't get it.
Both
Yeah,
of
they took off. I don't know.
I'm
both
assuming
of
Blake
you.
got outside, everybody was already gone, and he's basically just on guard at the door with his crossbow
Yeah,
in case.
that's
somebody comes back
reasonable,
and
yeah.
tries to finish the job.
No, that is reasonable, yes. Basically, Blake can see that the frontage of the inn is slightly scorched. And it's not quite a pub garden, but basically you've got the railed off area at the front where you've got kind of the barrels set up as tables. Which I think Fishy especially should be familiar with. It's very much, the sort of the Spanish thing.
Yeah.
Nowhere to sit, but tables set up so people can drink outside. They again lightly scorched, but because it was an airburst, nothing's actually caught fire. Nothing took the splash, and actually had a chance to set. My phone's now going off. Excuse me. I object when something goes off constantly. Oh, okay, missed phone call. Who tried to phone me? Don't care. Go away. I have no interest in telling you whether I've had an accident recently, whether it was my fault or not.
I absolutely love it when people phone me talking about the car accident that wasn't my fault, because I just go, yeah, I can't drive. And they immediately put the phone down.
The last time I got one of those, it was on the tail end of getting 6 other calls. Basically, of the, your Microsoft Windows computer is broken, your PPI is running out, the time is running out, and then it was just one of these, you've been involved in a car crash, and I just said, who told you?
Amazing.
Oh, yeah. Where are you? And they hung up on me.
Did you tell them you have a very specific skill set?
No, but for some ungodly reason, Techie has now started talking out my phone, because I thought she was on mute, and she's apparently now not.
She's growing in intelligence, Drop. She's taken over.
That wouldn't take a lot, to be fair.
Felix, please. I can't open Discord without Fancy Grounds just throwing a wobbly. But could you get the invasion image? You know the one I'm talking about. And send that to Drops.
Okay. No, I don't know which one you're talking about.
Okay.
The Terminator one.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have it saved.
Okay.
Means I don't have it saved.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah. I was hoping it's probably been eaten by the channel.
So, Monty, although you didn't really twig anything, because you didn't end up negative numbers, that wasn't a fumble on your alchemy. You just couldn't quite place the specifics of what the bomb was intended to do, but of course it tried to blow you up. It was a bit of a distraction.
Didn't try to blow you up, tried to set you on fire.
Yeah, however,
Very
once Dondrick says, this was an incendiary, it starts to make sense. Now I will take an actually, if you've got investigation, that would be ideal. Which is an intelligence skill. No, it isn't. Investigation, I'm sure it exists. Am I going completely doolally?
Not by that name.
No, deduction, sorry, my apologies.
Deduction, of course, that was
Yeah.
it.
I do not have that.
Okay, so just a straight intelligence check if you don't have it.
Yes, let's see, where is it? 15.
Okay. And Flix?
Yes.
Again, you are entitled to a deduction check.
Yes, and I do actually have a rank in it.
Oh my god.
A single little rank. That's disappointing. Wait, that's on intelligence?
Yes.
God, I hate math.
That's alright.
9.
Okay.
That's a 9.
Unfortunately, nothing really leaps out at you as being important here.
Yeah.
However, Nell is able to have a conclusion crawl into her brain and start festering. As she glances with incendiary in mind at the pile of paperwork left by the lawyer on the table, including the deeds to the inn.
Oh.
Okay. So.
Felix is beginning to. Felix mind is connecting dots, I think.
Okay. So, we'll leave you there and head back outside. So.
Yeah, Nell was just gonna probably just grab Dondrick and just by the shirt and just point down at the papers.
Yes.
Yeah. Dondrick is doing the looking down and the math symbols goes up as we pan away.
Dondrick's there going,
what volume of a cylinder?
Yes. What could this have been for? What was this? And eventually Nell just grabs the back of the head, pushes straight down.
Bam!
I have a strength of.
Yeah, this is the problem. You've got the armor. You got the blacksmith here. This is the thing.
Yeah.
There's no messing. Okay, so back outside in the marketplace. It's all getting a bit shouty, to be honest. The stall holder, you thrust the satchel at after wrecking her stall, or her stock rather, is getting quite shouty about the fact that you wrecked her stall.
Okay, well, I've lost the fellow I was looking for, so let's just have a wee conversation, you and me, then, shall we? Right, starters, what have you got here? What have I damaged? Oh, look at this. It's not bad stuff, I suppose, is it? I've just come into possession of an eating and drinking establishment, and I'm going to be needing to restock fairly soon. So maybe we can do some sort of a deal on. Obviously, I'll pay for the damages, and then maybe on a bulk order for other things, and perhaps profitable future business as well.
Amazing.
Welcome to the way my wife works. Right, I would like you to make me a business check, or
You reckon that was business? I thought that was deceit.
or deceit, depending on whether or not you actually intend to follow through.
Well, I have no business, so Amos just lies by instincts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 16.
Okay, that's 16 on deceit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, she didn't actually fumble. That's a plus. So that's a total of only 9. She is slightly, not mollified exactly, but slightly thrown by your approach. She was expecting a Barney. She was expecting you to come at her with an argument, and it's kind of a and what? Well, let's see if I can get the accent right. Look, you. This is the problem. I have to do an impression of my grandmother.
Oh, is she a kid, Winnie?
She is indeed Kedweni. She is from
Thankfully.
Kedwin. Kedwin, quite a big country, most of it vertical.
I'm sorry, I love that Welsh accent so much. This makes me really happy.
Yeah, I
So
can very,
nice on the ears.
I can very rarely do it. But yeah, my grandmother was from Tylerstown in the valley, in the valleys. So if I do an impression of my, I can't even say that without a vague Welsh accent. Basically, if I do an impression of my nan, my nana used to sound like that. So that's kind of the only way I can get into it. Okay. So, but yes, she is indeed Kedweni, which I don't feel the need to keep proving now. So because I can't stay in an accent for any length of time. What establishment? How do you come into an establishment?
Well, normally through the front door. Okay, look, now, what do I owe you for damages for the moment, okay?
Okay.
Orban is sneaking away.
Hadavir,
involved.
would you
Can I
like
make
to...
a perception check, by the way?
Hadavir and indeed, Hamus can indeed make perception checks.
Please catch him.
Awareness checks, technically, but...
Yeah,
19!
Yeah, awareness, right.
Is this going to be an opposed check, or is he not being that sneaky?
How sneaky are you being?
Enough to roll, and I'm slightly concerned. Your awareness might not beat my stealth. Hopefully will beat my stealth.
Okay, roll it.
I want it to. I want you to catch it. Oh no.
With that roll, not a chance, no.
Oh, Orban.
Just 11 for
Orban,
me,
why?
so
What?
no.
He rolled a 23, chat. he didn't roll a 23, but yeah.
Okay.
And he is awesomely stealthy.
Yes.
I don't want him to. No, Orban.
Okay.
Which is life.
Yep. So, she names a figure, which I am going to have to go to the actual rulebook in order to find in the equipment, and that's just weird. So, craftsman and alchemist, no. Creating your own characters. That would be the gear section then.
Yes, I'm hoping that it's not too much. I've only got 315 crowns at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
asset rich.
Asset rich.
I've got a tavern.
Well, yeah, technically you are property rich, cash poor,
Yep.
which is fair. Dum.
I'm getting cash poorer by the minute because Hamish tends to flash money around rather too much.
He
Which is weird
does.
because he also dresses like a tramp.
Yeah, as in person who sleeps under a bridge rather than
Yes.
somebody who works on the negotiable affection.
Your brain
Okay.
just had to go there, didn't it?
Yep. It really did. It always does. Not always does. That came out so wrong. Okay, let's go with... This is when I'm doing 3 things at once and my brain is looking at something totally different.
I want to work the number out later. That's okay.
Okay,
Continue.
it's going to cost you 20 crowns.
Right, 20 crowns I can absolutely do.
Okay. And that's a number she comes up with. And we go with... Please let me back up my story window.
He's going to dish out the 20 crowns, by the way, and then he is going to pick up the box. Because he's just paid for that.
Okay.
No idea what he's going to do with it, but...
Okay. Just naming.
Box of broken pots.
I probably should phrase this differently as to Mirtha the Kedweni pot merchant, but we'll go
Harriet
with
the
it.
Potter.
Harriet the Potter.
Be ashamed of yourself, Knight.
I have no shame.
No, he doesn't. No,
Yeah, you're
never
saying it,
has.
really.
Never has. Oh God. Okay. Well, there's an image I wish I hadn't looked at yet. Okay. Okay. And Spud is now possessed by the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay. Dear oh Lord.
Yeah, I like it, Josh.
I believe the technical term is kill it with fire.
I don't think that would work.
Willing to give it a shot.
Just come back stronger.
Yep. Okay. So, it's the only problem with having Fantasy Grounds up is it really reveals what I'm writing up as I go and what I've got already written.
Oh, I didn't even notice that you were
Knight just yelling, what the hell is
disappeared.
that?
Okay.
Because you're forgetting to do what I do and have a separate Fantasy Grounds window open to capture for the stream.
This is true. I need to do that.
Although actually you're not streaming it, are you? Knight is, so it's
No,
not
not
showing
streaming
your
it tonight.
point of view at all.
Oh,
It
in
really
which
doesn't
case,
matter.
I
You
don't
just
have to-
get the clicks.
In which case, I don't have to worry too much. You can see the map of the inn at the moment, can't you?
Don't forget Drut is streaming it tonight.
Yes, I am streaming it. My apologies,
Oh,
Fish.
Gus is streaming it tonight. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't trust
The brain.
myself, the brain, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the word.
You didn't trust the thing that has now escaped you, which is fair.
So,
Ironically.
tip for anybody watching who's thinking of streaming their own games using Fantasy Grounds, you can open a second instance of Fantasy Grounds and connect it to localhost and use that to show a player's eye view instead of the GM's eye view, if you want to keep the GM stuff hidden.
Yep. It's a valid tactic, and to be honest, it's one I would have used had I had slightly more time to set it up, which is entirely my own fault. Right. Okay, so both cloaked figures have vanished into the ether. And if you're honest about having made the purchase, you get your satchel back.
Oh yes, the satchel will be dropped into the box along with my pot shards.
Drop it.
I'm getting the satchel back one way or another. I mean, if it takes sleight of hand and distraction, I'm getting the satchel back.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the.
Add that to my equipment list as well. Satchel O bombs.
Satchel bomb. Ye old bomb satchel. A must-have for everyone looking to burn down the tavern.
It's ye old dope peddler. Great. Now I've got Tom Lever stuck in my head.
I wonder if there's insurance on the tavern. Just saying.
Well, that would be in all the
That will
paperwork.
be as soon as I can afford it.
Well, I'm sure.
No, I mean, you
Niklaus.
could catch it.
I'm sure Niklaus the lawyer can sort out the insurance for you. Probably only
Basically,
take very reasonable.
That's now more worrying than it was a few weeks ago when we did session 1, because in the meantime I've gone back to continuing my watching of the originals. So anyone called Niklaus is now a dangerous psychopath in my mind.
No, Niklaus was very nice, and he was very polite to you, wasn't he? And that is roughly his voice, if I recall correctly.
We lost our bomber, we lost our witness.
Yep.
The only evidence we've got is a box of broken pots and this bag. I guess we head back
Which
to the
you were
point
carrying.
and try and figure it out.
Yes, and the person who was carrying it is now buggered off.
Oh, bugger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he unfortunately rolled a 22 on his stealth and is now
I'm
vanished.
so mad.
Ninja
Because
did
I
he go
know
out?
Auburn as a person. I know he just would be like, I'm not going to. But I wanted to get involved in the plot.
I just have this wonderful image now of Auburn heading back to the inn he was originally heading for, not realising they own it, and they walk in to find him sitting at the bar with a drink going, thank God I got away from them.
Let me check his intelligence. Hang on.
Oh my god, yes, please.
Oh,
It's 6.
That would be fun.
So it's not low.
it's not low.
What is luck?
I did, however, misread common speech for common sense in the skills list. Did you realise that?
Oh, I need to reset my luck because I'm on a new...
Yes,
Session.
you are.
No,
Anyone
no,
who
no.
blew through luck last session
Yes.
gets
Yeah, that's a
to
thing you could do.
reset it. The trouble is, I've got a Motorhead song going through my head because it's just, he's a bomber, he's a bomber.
No, I'm with Rage Against Machine, bomb track.
Yep.
Bomber's a girls' school track. Motorhead did it, covered it, but it's a girls' school track.
Yeah, weirdly, I've never heard the girls' school version. I've only ever heard the Motorhead version,
Okay.
which is just peculiar. Where it sounded like every other Motorhead track, which is to say quite good.
That's like girls' school stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Every girls' school track sounds like every other girls' school track, which is to say quite good.
Yeah, and they're all listenable. Right.
I love when music is listenable. That's my favorite kind of music.
Yep. Okay, so
So yeah, back to the coin.
back to the coin, and I will allow Auburn to decide what he's doing. Somebody thrust a load of bombs at you.
I
You
think I
didn't know
prefer
they
the
were
toss.
bombs. You didn't stop to look.
Okay, somebody pulled something explosive from a bag and then gave you the bag.
Doesn't mean the bag is necessarily contains other explosives. Could be his lunch. Could be the handy fire extinguishers that he carries in case the explosives go off too soon.
Yeah.
I
Could be an apology letter for blowing
involved
things
in the
up.
plot, but Auburn doesn't want to get kicked out of another country.
Wouldn't be a country, it'd be a city.
He's already in trouble for so much. So only some of it he actually did.
Right. Don't worry. It'll be fine. I can get Auburn re-involved.
Thank you, I appreciate that, because he wouldn't go back. I know him.
It's okay. So,
Remind me, who was the fella who runs the criminal guys?
the fellow who runs the criminal
Something
guys...
to do with pigs, I remember that much.
Yes.
Piglets, I think.
That is...
Sebastian
We met
Bohr.
Bohr- it
Yes.
was somebody Bohr, wasn't it? Yeah, we met Bohr
Yes.
Jr. and Bohr
You
Senior
met
was his
Peter.
Piotr, yes. You have met
I
Piotr.
just want to know
and
who's going to be
Sebast-
hiring Auburn, that's all, to keep him involved in the plot.
Sorry, am I that transparent? And it's less going to be hiring, more threatening.
Douche.
But yes, it's the piglets. His gang.
Yes.
Such an intimidating name, truly.
Well, the guy's surname is Boar, the godfather type figure. So Boar runs the piglets. Who's going to be scared of the piglets until you remember that pigs will eat you?
Oink, pecking, oink.
Okay.
Giant mutated pigs.
Yes.
I played too much
back on
Vampire the
Slay
Masquerade.
Industries again.
Yes.
Really looking forward to Slay Industries coming out. Those carnivorous pigs are so much fun to play with.
I hate slay carnivorous pigs. Oh dear God. Those things are horrible.
So, yeah. What's happening?
Right. What is happening is, also, sudden thought, Abelard, by the way, has been sat watching and is obviously trying to screw his head back on. And then turns to Bernie in the end and says, I suppose we start with cleaning up. Because there's glass all over the floor at this stage. So, you head back into the coin, those of you returning, and basically between Nell, Bernie, Dondrick and Abelard, the sort of chairs have been rewrited, and Bernie has grabbed a broom and is starting to sweep up the shards of glass. So, what would you guys like to do? And Nell and Dondrick appear to be paying attention and quite keen on the large number of papers left by the lawyer.
I think at this point I probably started carefully, gingerly, just spreading them out slightly, like skimming, not obviously sitting down and rifling through it, but just moving them around a little, obviously reading them, but more skimming them.
Okay. Right, I will take a deduction check then. That's probably the best way to deal with getting hold of information fast.
How did luck work? I added it onto the assault, correct?
Yes.
So I could choose to add 2, and I need to do it before I roll.
Need to do it before you roll, yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to spend 2 luck on this action.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 10.
That's unnecessary, basically.
Yep, that's calculator time, because I can't do regular math.
That's all right.
6 plus
Meanwhile,
1
Nell is
plus
probably
3.
just
25.
Okay.
CSI Dondrick. Yeah!
Yes. There's a lot of it. It's always one. It's ridiculous.
So was 1.
Okay. So Dondrick is skimming, and a large number of the papers are basically a write-up of the lease.
Yeah.
Hi, Joey. Welcome to the stream. It's been chaos and chasing and bombs and things.
Deduction.
And it's basically the lease and the terms and conditions thereof of ownership of the tossed coin.
Yes, that's exactly what I was like. If these were to be destroyed, can I figure out who would gain from that?
If these were destroyed, and it does indeed include the deeds, including a floor plan of the inn and its surrounds.
Yeah.
Because I figure if they've dated from the 1700s in UK law, fuck it. They work here. What the hell? They're obviously labelled in paces and things. If these were destroyed, then all it would take is somebody claiming to have a copy, and theoretically somebody else could claim ownership. I mean, obviously, ideally, you'd want a faked will as well.
Yeah, and if this will happen to be in the same pile, that would just be unfortunate.
And yes, the lawyer did indeed read the will, so if you destroyed this pile, then unless the lawyer has copies, which of course, given that photocopying not a thing, it would have to be done by hand.
Yes. The lawyer, he left before the wake, right?
He did, yes. He basically he accepted one small drink and then he had to leave. He had to go.
Of course he did. I'm going to, like, I'm not going to, Dondrick's not going to point fingers, but he's going to, as he's, like, rifling through this, he's going to also, like, speak with Abelard.
Okay.
Just kind of like throw him findings like, oh yeah, so if these were to be destroyed, theoretically anyone else could claim, or like airing his concerns with this with Abelard.
Okay. You can talk to Nell and Abelard about this.
Yeah, I'm saying it out loud as I'm standing there over them.
No, that's cool. And Bernie looking slightly concerned. Because if nothing else, this is her job. You know, you guys are concerned about who owns what, and she just very much likes, you know, wants her hours to keep you kept up and stuff, because she can't take sick time.
Can't afford to self-isolate.
No. No, plague bomb. That would be the thing. Right. You have today... The place was shut for the private function. But when are you going to be able to reopen or open under new management? So yes, the two of you from outside, so Hadavir and Hamus, walk in as Dondrick, he's the weaponsmith, isn't he?
No, he's the armorer.
He's the armourer and Nell's weapons.
Nell's the weaponsmith.
Yes.
That's why I have a Gambison in the background.
Yeah, that's cool. Fair enough.
And mounting a shield.
So we've got Gambison shield, we've got bows. I'll go and get a sword, shall I?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay,
There you
Gotta
go.
say axe, fine.
Okay, fair enough. Yep, Fishy's got the rapier. And you've got the... What the hell? Stick. Oh, okay.
So many sticks. Just all of the sticks. Just all
Somebody likes his walking sticks.
yeah.
That's understandable.
I've got this one, which unfortunately I didn't have when I was playing Randolph in Castle Falkenstein.
Oh, I
This would
want
have been
that
perfect
one.
when I was playing that.
That's rather nice.
But I didn't have it then. This was a Christmas present.
I need to get a swanky walking stick.
I hit
Oh, of course,
I hit
your
a
favourite.
antiques fair.
It's got a good bit of weight to it, that as well. You could use it.
What the heck is that?
And
It's a
it's a knife.
You're right there, Knight.
Yeah, could you not...
Just like the
Why
episodes
Why do you
about
bring a knife to the group chat?
CO's terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not brandish that on stream because I'm quite keen on not
Because we
losing
want
this
to be able
channel.
to continue streaming.
Sorry, it was only
Yeah.
decorative.
Yes.
It would be very ineffectual in actual use.
Okay, yeah,
And
it is a
speaking
wall
of
hanger.
only decorative and very ineffectual.
Oh, I just see we're going for a distraction with a cat.
Cat's on.
Hello, Pippin.
Hello, pretty
His
cat.
little face.
How can you tell?
So-
He's a black void with ears.
Yeah, I should really wear light
Those
colours
are
so you
best
can see the
Ears
cat.
and eyes.
Oh, Pips. Oh, you're being hard done by Moggy and wanting feeding. Okay,
Yes, yeah.
this is the cat that talks a lot.
This is the cat that talks a lot, yes.
Okay,
He's surprisingly quiet right now.
yeah, it's because you fed him twice since you got it. Not gone in this afternoon, but this afternoon.
No, I haven't been out today.
No, good point. Sorry, I'm used to you working on Sundays.
Yes, so am I. It's been lovely.
Okay, so yes, you guys walk in on the tail end of supposition from Dondrick that were this pile of paperwork to be destroyed, the
Yeah.
only proof that you own the inn would have gone up in smoke.
lawyer fella has
Yep.
second set, right?
He might have, I don't know. But either way, I wouldn't worry about it too much because we trust you, Abelard. Despite this evidence pointing towards you, we don't think you did it.
Pointing towards
No.
me?
Listen, that's
Well, yes,
that's
I mean,
kind
who
of
benefits
the
if-
entire thing of this.
If you've just signed this paperwork that hands the inn over to us, if this paperwork is destroyed, it's only our word against yours. Everybody knows you're going to inherit. So without the paperwork, the inn goes to you.
I'm just saying that if these were to be destroyed, anyone could claim any ownership or with a fake will or a fake deed.
Oh, yes,
it doesn't necessarily have to be Abelard.
Anybody other than Abelard would need a fake will, yes. Abelard wouldn't even need that.
But
But it's okay. We don't think you did it. It's all right. If nothing else, you didn't have time to arrange it.
It nearly blew me up.
That's another reason, I suppose.
I was
It
here.
would technically only have burned you, but yeah.
Why?
Just,
Why would it only have burned me?
oh no, everyone is.
But
Oh,
anyway,
it wouldn't only have
we all
burned
know
me.
perfectly well,
Oh.
Oh no, sorry, that came out wrong. My head is still swimming.
I thought.
Yeah.
we all know
I-
exactly who's behind this anyway.
Do we?
Sorry.
It's young Piggy fella, obviously. Who else? I mean, his goons attacked you already looking for the secret of the bear today.
Well,
Now somebody's going to bomb through the window here. Who else is it going to be?
well, I suppose.
I mean, it could technically it could be anyone with. I mean, there is a lot of financial gain. I mean, yeah, it could be, but it also could be anyone else, since anyone could gain from owning an inn, especially as popular as this one.
But it's a very bad move because, as we all know, we established this already. The inn is the less valuable part of all this. It's the formula that's valuable. Destroying that would be an extremely bad idea.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it would. Oh God, none of it got burned, did it?
No. I check mine quickly.
That's good.
Haven't you all memorised your parts of that?
Well, yeah.
So they'd have had
We've
to.
only had it about 2 hours.
Yes, and alcohol has been involved. So,
And head blows.
yeah, and this concussion and alcohol are perfect for helping you memorize things.
I can testify to this.
Yes. Okay. So,
I remember that the ingredients involved 3 bushels of sugar syrup and a spoonful of garlic.
sounds like you're making iced tea. I've seen
With
that horrific
garlic?
video.
Garlic. It sounds like you're making a cure-all.
Yeah, could be.
Let's face
Oh,
it.
but it's the hangover cure for the ale.
If you drink so much stout that you need a hangover cure, I'm both impressed and kind of jealous.
There are dwarves in this universe, okay?
Listen, there's no shortcuts to strong alcoholism.
Fair enough. There's someone who's more used to
Dedication and hard
spirits.
work.
Yeah.
And as someone who works a bartender, drink responsibly.
Okay, yes, always drink responsibly, so you'll spill it. So, now having established that, Abelard, slightly stunned, basically starts helping Bernie clean up because he is so far out of his depth and has had, I would like to remind you, a fucking stressful day that
Yeah,
started
somewhat.
with him getting the crap kicked out of him, inheriting and then being disinherited by the guy who's basically been his father figure, and discovering his death and then getting blown up. He's had a day.
It's been a day.
He's basically focusing on the inn. You've told him he can run the inn. He knows what he's doing with that. So he's basically trying to look after it. Bernie seems remarkably unconcerned. Or at least focused on her job rather than panicking. But unless anybody is experienced in dealing with elves even, human perception ain't gonna cut it.
Even
No.
Amos has a limited experience of elves.
Yep.
Let me just check my
Maybe
background and
Nell would
refresh my
know.
memory. 'Cause I've got a feeling somewhere down the line, Hadavir has an elf in his background.
If you
No.
wish, no.
Nell would know.
If you wish to give Nell a human perception check, then which she can roll without
Human
penalty.
perception? What?
Yeah, the skill is called human perception, if I recall correctly.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it is. That's a weird name for a skill.
Right.
It's basically reading people.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's just weird.
But it's based on empathy, which is gonna go great.
I love these characters.
That's 6.
What do
Okay.
you mean? You're such a people person, Mel. Do something about it.
It's hard for you to tell. She's definitely keeping very keen on her task. Let's put it that way. She's very task orientated. She's being a little bit inscrutable. Anybody who addresses her is going to get the customer service smile, but then she's going to get back to her work.
Amos is actually going to help with the tidying up.
Sorry,
will be
if my
mucking in.
eyebrows went any higher, they'd hit the hairline.
This is not necessarily a good thing, because he's put down a crate full of pot shards and a bag of bombs on the table and then completely forgotten all about it. and
We
started
don't
cleaning
know
up.
that it's a bag full of bombs.
No.
No.
However, Hamus has dumped a crate full of wrecked, well, it's about 50-50 wrecked and possibly salvageable earthenware pots on the table for reasons, and a leather satchel that clinks as he puts it down. And then goes off to help tidy.
I'm not going to start rattling about some other dude's
Well,
things.
Given that I caused some of the untidiness, I'm going to go and help tidy and reset all the tables and chairs that I flipped.
Fair enough.
It's
Yes.
only fair,
Reset the room.
basically.
Okay. So, afternoon is starting to wear on by the time you've got the place. I mean, it's open to the elements, but you've got shutters on the windows that can be closed.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to be shuttering the broken windows if the
Okay.
shutters are still intact. And Blake will drag the bench in front of the door, obviously on the
Okay.
inside,
Yeah.
and then sit on it. He won't be helping, but he will be sitting on the bench immediately inside the door, with his crossbow across his lap, dozing.
Okay. Because
A
dozy
soldier who can
person.
sleep anywhere at any time.
Yes. Dozy person with a loaded crossbow. What could
Always
possibly
good.
go wrong?
The
Yeah.
safety's on.
sec, I'll
The
give him a
safety's on.
pep
It's
talk.
fine.
Yeah, I was racking my brain for the English translation of that one line in the animated Robin Hood with the guy with the
I
crossbow.
think
But,
old Bianca is secure or something.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's Bianca.
but we only know it in Swedish, me and the Monty, unfortunately. Hon är säker, gamla Bettan.
Sounds so much more impressive. Right. Okay, so yeah,
Make it
evening.
sexy in English.
Yeah.
What?
Evening wears on, and after the glass has been swept up, Monty, Monty, it's you, Bernie. It's because I was looking at the word, unfortunately, and I read it rather than saying it. Bernie basically says, "I'll make some dinner. I think we could all do with some food, if that's okay." And she looks between you and Abelard.
Yeah, maybe we should check on Loic. I'll look at no.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well,
Nella's
Yeah.
probably been like really like fidgety and like restless this entire time.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't want to tell you people how to run your business, but it's entirely possible that leaving portions of the formula loose in the world like this, with no protection and nobody keeping an eye on them, it's not necessarily the best idea. It's your business, not ours. Ours is just the inn, but you know.
Yeah.
All right. What do you have in mind? Says Abelard.
I don't know about anyone else, but I'd suggest y'all get lawyers. Give you the piece to the lawyer for safekeeping.
Well, I suppose Nikolaus does know the business, or he knows about the business, and I think he
If
knows.
you trust lawyers not to talk to the criminal elements, that is.
I'm.
After all, that bomb did come in after the lawyer left.
Well,
And he would be able to copy the documents if he had nefarious intents.
I'm sure he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. People are basically honest, I've found.
Oh, honey.
I beg to differ with that. That's why I try and
Well, if
avoid
this
people
lawyer
at
is
most.
honest, then we should check if he's alive.
I think you got that slightly wrong. You said people are basically honest. What you meant was basic people, which is to say simple ones, are honest.
Okay. So, did you guys just say that you was considering checking on the lawyer?
No,
Nell said that
No.
if he like by some miracle is an honest person, then it should be a good thing to check that he's still alive. Is what she said.
It's almost like somebody might target the only other person with copies of the documents, if he's honest.
As if.
As if. Okay,
Who would have thunk it?
so, you guys pootling off into the late afternoon, early evening then?
Yeah. Does Abelard knows where the lawyer? His name was Nikolai, right?
Niklaus.
Niklaus.
Niklaus. Yes, and indeed, so will you. He is local in this area, and his services are used by many of the local merchants. Sales contracts, purchases, and indeed wedding contracts are drawn up by his
Cool.
office.
So we probably worked with him before then. He was probably the one who drafted when Dondrick and Loic started their business.
Yeah, when they rented their shop, for example, the odds are pretty good that he helped draw up the contract between the merchants in order to make
If
sure.
they have any kind of partnership agreement,
Yeah.
he probably drafted that.
Exactly.
If not him, then his office.
Yeah.
S-
Yeah. Should we go check on him? We can check on the store as well.
Sounds good
No.
to me.
Yeah. We're gonna head out.
Okay. So, I'm going to flick over to Auburn,
Oh.
who has largely squirreled himself away in the corner of a slightly iffy-looking tavern and is considering his life choices.
This happens every so often.
Normally, you like to get your feet under the table and maybe spend a night or two in town before people start chasing and hurting and threatening you.
And framing you.
And framing you. So, you're sitting with probably the second ale in the last 3 hours, sipping at it and trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do next. When you get to make me a practice paranoia check.
Oh no, that's always... Okay, so... Excuse me whilst I look into my practice paranoia. And look at it and think... Yeah, okay, there it is. It's... What happens when I roll it? We shall see if this works. Yes, it works. There it is, practice paranoia.
Okay.
I don't know why I turned into medic for a second there.
It's all right.
Like a really rubbish medic.
Okay. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up
That's never a good sign.
at about the same point as you feel something cold rest against the side of your neck.
Yeah, that roll could have been better.
Here for 5 hours.
Your attention is really kind of pinpoint focused on the cold line down the right hand side of your neck.
Good evening.
So I've been here for hours.
I've been here for 5 hours. Hours.
It's just a criminal polite hello, really. That's all it is.
Yep.
Basically a handshake.
Hello. The voice breathes into your ear.
Hi. Dating option number 2. No. I mean, it might be for all I know.
So, you have something that belongs to my employer.
If this is about the satchel, I don't actually have that anymore.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's with the people who have the pub. I mean, really, that's your employee's fault for leaving it around like with a complete stranger.
Now, why would that be our employee's fault?
I'm just saying that if I had an incredibly valuable satchel that I needed to get back to my bosses at all costs, I would not give it to the first person I saw in the street.
And is that what you're saying happened?
That is in fact what happened. I was handed the satchel. The satchel was then taken by the owners of the establishment that your employee was fleeing. Just trying to find a place to sleep.
Jesus Christ.
What happened? Did the cat...
I think Felix half leapt out of his skin there.
Listen, my nerves are made of butter and they will melt at the moment.
Frightened lad.
Is that a "oh Pippin, you little bastard" moment?
Swapping dice trays, this one's less vulnerable to cats.
Do I take it you've got loads of dice all over the floor now?
No, only 2 of them actually went on the floor. But this dice tray is quite easy to knock over, whereas this dice tray is much harder.
But a cat-proof dice tray.
Oh, there's no such thing.
No.
There's a reason why all of my GMs like to sit next to me while we're playing horror scenarios, just because they can jump scare me. It's happened too many times. Too many goddamn times.
I cannot believe I just named a tavern the Saucy Sailor. Right.
Amazing. Glorious.
It's a perfectly good name for a tavern in a
It
port.
is. Yep. You're you know, the nearest set of drinking establishments is at the tavern. Is at the port. Sorry. It's around the docks, and you know it's called the Saucy Sailor.
It's better than the suckling cabbage.
It is better than the suckling cabbage.
Yep. I still want to resurrect, but it's from the wrong universe, the Club to Death, because I quite like the name of that,
That's a good one. It's a good one.
which was Shadowrun, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. I just have visions of Fish now, with teaching the cat a lesson or something. That's why he's turned the camera off. 'Cause he's having stern words with Pippin and doesn't want us to see him losing an argument with his cat.
Now I've just got the mental image of a 6.5-foot tall man bending down and just pointing the finger at this really tiny, unimpressed cat.
Yep.
And
you've
Not
losing.
blow this for us.
you've met Pippin then.
Cats are just great.
Yep.
Cats are a thing.
Okay.
I love them
So,
for their claws.
yes. The voice, by the way, and I will take an awareness check, actually.
Oh god.
You haven't been rolling bad. so
Or a
far.
human perception.
Jesus.
Dealer's choice. That would be the Night Hound.
Excuse me? I need to go and check on my dog.
I need to go
And
check on
someone
my
needs to check
heart
Felix's
rate.
heart right now.
Everyone's pets are acting up!
If anything is gonna kill me before my time, it's gonna be a heart attack.
You know,
Bless.
I know what would kill you, Felix.
No, stop it. God damn it.
Now,
I'm
come
not
on.
going to do it on stream.
I want
There's
to check
one
from you.
word that guarantees Felix's death.
Okay, well, let's hold off actually killing any of my players, please.
Power word kill.
Yeah. What happens with the character if the player dies?
Right, would you please like to make me either a human perception or an awareness check?
I made awareness, I got 14.
Okay.
God. Honestly.
You get the feeling that the speech pattern is not how this person normally sounds. They appear to be trying to keep almost to a monotone. And they're keeping it at a sub-vocalized level.
So,
Deliberately masking their voice. And they are behind you.
yeah.
I never said that this item was valuable. Merely that it's ours.
I'm afraid you'll have to speak to the owners of the establishment about that.
Oh, no, no, no. If you were handed this responsibility, then that responsibility rests with you.
Really not for it.
Now, you're going to return, and you're going to get the bag, and you're going to find out what they know. Aren't you? Like a good little boy.
Know about what? Because asking what people know is a very wide topic of conversation.
I would have thought it was fairly obvious.
Bag? I assume they looked in it.
Yes, the bag. And what they know about the people who might want to have used it.
Okay, yeah. You know what? That sounds like a good idea. I think I'll go do that.
When you found these things out, I want you to bring the bag back here and leave it under this table. And I'll find it. Or I'll find you.
Perfectly clear. Thank you.
Perfectly clear.
Mm.
Good. You receive a comradely pat on the head. Not unlike that which you might give a small child.
Stop
possibly-
patronising him for his height. This is
Possibly a
dwarfist.
puppy.
This is dwarfist.
Okay. And the cold feeling on your neck is lifted away. What is Auburn's first reaction when that knife goes? Sorry, when that cold metal object next to his neck goes?
Yeah, that absolutely was not a knife. It's
Absolutely
to,
was not a knife.
slowly, as to telegraph his movements, get out of the chair and just stop and build the dog. 'Cause he's just going to do that. I'm just going to do that right now.
Okay. Sidling out of the chair, then. Okay. Make me an awareness check, please.
Yeah. He
Actually,
does not
no.
want to anger the person with the knife who knows
Okay.
how to find him.
Yep.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, so Auburn sees nothing to disturb him And the sailors around him in the tavern are all basically dedicated to getting as much alcohol inside them as possible before they have to go back out and, you know, open seas, snow, sirens.
Did the job.
Yeah.
Right, he's going to head back over to the tossed coin then.
Okay. I'm sorry, I've just read what Fish put in chat.
Oh, what did Fish put in chat?
That's a very nice knife you got there, but wouldn't you be better off with a real enema?
Oh.
Because, unfortunately, he did reference what character he's got going through his head at the moment, and I know exactly how that character sounds. And that is very much like that. Oh boy. And if he turned up, then frankly all bets would be off anyway. Okay, so you've been threatened for your life, and
I don't know how they expect him to get information. Orban's not exactly intimidating or even personable. He's a tiny, scruffy dwarf
yeah,
who
Yep,
can't
he
even
is.
grow a proper beard.
Yep. Okay, so Nell and Dondrick are heading off to check on their place of business and see if the lawyer's okay.
Yes, and right before, like, literally as I'm heading out the door, I just turn around and go, the bomb was probably a dancing star once. Just thought I'd let you all know.
Okay. Anybody else have Hamus or Hadavir, or indeed Blake, got any knowledge in crafting bombs or in alchemy?
Excuse me while I laugh bitterly.
Yes, I
You want
know.
to double check there.
Couldn't it also be like if it's like some form of streetwise? If you know like about if you're a criminal and know about bombs?
No, I completely
That's a
ignored that.
possibility, but
Okay.
the use of them in criminal activities could come under streetwise if it doesn't have that.
Only if you had previously been engaged in using anything that noisy.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately,
What
Hamus
about
is
the kind of criminal activities that involve people with very large two-handed maces? Because he's got a point in streetwise.
actually, to be fair, Blake might have a more appropriate background.
Look at youth in warfare.
Yeah.
You might know it from there.
Okay. Yeah. Warfare certainly.
Yeah.
The soldier, he's probably seen it in use on the battlefield.
Because that's not streetwise anymore once you're on the road to battlefield.
That's probably where Donrick knows of it as well.
Yeah, that's true.
TBH.
Is there a suitable skill for covering battlefield stuff?
I
I suppose you could just let me roll on my tough as nails.
I
skill.
was about to say actually. Yeah,
It
tough as
represents my military experience. doesn't
yeah,
it?
it does.
Possibly tough as nails with intelligence rather than body.
Yes, it would definitely be intelligence.
Okay, so that is going to be a total of +9 to the roll, so I'll bung that in the modifier box. Ooh. So that's a 17.
Okay. Yes, he's seen dancing stars used to do things like clear foxholes. If you want to clear cover, especially undergrowth that people might be hiding in, one of those will do a number on it. They do have a very napalm effect, and they tend to set fire to anything flammable in their area.
Oh dear. That's not a nice way to go. It's not a nice way to go at all. I've seen that. It's not nice. I opened one. Pointing at I've forgotten your wizard's name. Begins with an A.
Hadavir.
Hadavir.
And then we leave.
Okay. Oh, by the way, they tried to napalm you.
Yeah, bye!
Yep. It could be worse. Could be white phosphor.
Do you want someone to come with you? Bit of muscle, like. This fella looks handy.
Off his lip.
Says to the two blacksmiths.
We're not armored, like, I have the equivalent of a medieval screwdriver on me as a weapon, so...
Yeah, you've got your tool
Possibly
belts.
muscle was the wrong word to use.
Yeah.
But...
If anyone volunteers, So,
Well, I do have to say I'd quite like a word with whoever it was through that, if we can find them. And there's no guarantee they'll be there, but they might.
Okay.
On the flip side, they might come back if they see this place ain't up in flames. So someone needs to stay here as well.
maybe you should put the deeds away.
There's a safe in my uncle's room. I think the combination is somewhere in these. I think it was written.
You best get to it, lad.
Combination safe. He was doing well out of this place, wasn't he?
Well, yes,
His drinks well liked.
it was, and all the ownership documents for the aardvarks are in there, and
Hi, yeah,
well, you can't
I'm
have.
a little confused about the aardvarks. But that's not a topic for now. We'll deal with that later.
You have to keep the stud information somewhere.
Why is this about our box? I keep seeing references to it. What happened?
Right. Well, part of the inheritance is the aardvark fighting arena in the cellar, and the prize
It's like-
aardvarks.
Aardvarks.
Yeah, it's like
Which-
cockfighting, but with aardvarks.
Yes. Spud looks utterly baffled.
Why
Listen.
aardvarks?
Look at this.
Why
just
not?
think of those long noses just going at each other.
Think of the socking great claws designed to take out anthills.
No, it's Jim funny. Just slap.
You just want to see the
Of course. They're very strong, but they're
I'm
not
not having
actually
Felix's actions with it.
Nope, they tend to be.
Listen, I'm getting to the same person, but my hands represent two different aardvarks. It's hard. I'm trying.
You haven't
reference,
encountered the aardvarks yet. Somebody's going to have to feed them at some point.
What we need next as a character for whoever's someone's backup character is
Aardvark trainer.
a Witcher version of
Yeah, I am a
human
witcher
with
from the
dog.
school of the
No,
aardvark.
slow animal with no teeth as your fighting animal.
Absolutely human with
Sharp
aardvarks.
claws.
That's the next character class that we need.
Don't-
Get on it.
They have range with their noses.
Don't blame me, blame RTG, because I'll tell Saurian, okay, admittedly it was in the April Fools, created a little baby supplementette, which involved rules for gambling on aardvark fights, and the peasant's
Spud, are you
character
okay?
class.
I mean, listen, there are godly videos of aardvarks fighting. I need to
Spud,
find this
okay.
right now.
I think we've killed Spud.
Aardvark.
I've just given
Yep,
up.
he's looking dead.
You
I see no
okay?
signs of breathing. Oh no, there's movement.
No, there was occasional jiggling, I'm assuming from laughter.
Or crying.
Or sobbing, yes.
I don't know.
Hysteria,
It's
hysteria.
always-
Which direction it comes from?
I'd just like to point out that grimdark, nasty, dark fantasy setting.
I'm gonna post a video in the Discord. I found one called Aardvark Fight Club Round 1.
I'm just thinking about that one the Good Omens exchange. Like, still a demon, are you? As opposed to what, an aardvark?
Yeah.
Planet universe.
Look, I found it
Oh,
existed.
They are both aardvarks.
It's like two drunks teddy bears fighting each other.
Okay,
Or
look,
like two
to be
small children.
to be fair, I was going to use armadillos, and then I discovered that aardvarks had actually been a thing, and I decided just to swap it over to aardvarks since I had the rules
Armadillos
for
are
those.
even less effectual in this case.
Yes, I know. Look, you're talking about aardvarks with basically boxing gloves on, because they've
Yeah.
got the artificial claws, but you haven't encountered them yet, so it's fine.
They're very
Well, like they have. Why would you put
videos
boxing gloves on it?
of aardvarks fighting.
You have
and
to
I
move on. You
disappointed.
have to move on. I will not stop. You don't understand. I will not stop nitpicking. You've got to move on.
No, you don't do the nitpicking. The aardvarks do the nitpicking. They're the insectivores.
Oh, the ant picking. Oh god.
Oh,
Let me start
dear.
with the camera and annoyance. I've now lost one of my dime bars. This is punishment for my sins. This is
And now we're
punishment
back
for
to
my Michael
armadillos,
Sheen
which is-
sins that I've committed in the Discord.
Yes.
It's a never-ending circuit. It's a spiral of hell.
Spiral into
So
lust.
now, for everyone that's heard this conversation, Domebar, as well as being synonymous with aardvarks, with armadillos, is synonymous with aardvarks.
Yeah.
Armadillos. Crunchy on
Crunchy on
the
the
outside.
outside.
Soft on the inside.
Oh, baby!
Just like a nut. You just gotta break through the outer hull, and then you're good to go.
If anyone wants to know why a simple 2-sessioner on Series 1 took 12 episodes, this shit is why.
Aardvark.
Yes.
It's a funny word to say as well, just aardvark. It just doesn't
Yeah.
sound
There's
excellent.
not that
There
many
are
words
two
that start
A's
with
in
double
it.
A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, it's aardvarks in Aaron.
Well, you see, of course, these are
The guys who
fighting
used to play
ones.
D&D with ran
Yes.
the Aardvark Typing Agency, which was called that purely so it would be first in Yellow Pages.
Ouch. Did he? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
That was David.
Well, yeah, it would be David. If nothing else, I can't imagine any of the others doing a typing agency.
No.
Neil would probably sell bombs with it.
There
or
used to be
something.
an aardvark school of motoring that was so named for the same reason.
Yeah.
Same reason. Yeah.
Yep.
Smart.
I have seen A1 Aardvark as a business name, by the way, which was a pet shop, which I think unfortunately was a bit boring. So, they really dedicated to getting that #1 spot.
Yep.
Oh, Alexia, I wish. Unfortunately, everybody else is playing terribly serious games and getting into international politics, and we're arguing over aardvark fighting.
We're not arguing. We're laying out the opportunities. We're explaining it and discussing it.
Some
There's no argument being made.
raiding hell with their 17th level characters and wiping out Orcus. Other streams you watch for the Aardvark chat.
Yeah.
Yep. And, the
Anyway.
booze and the business. So, yes, Auburn's had his life threatened, and you guys are heading off. So is Blake heading off with Dondrick and Nell?
No.
I think if Hadova is staying behind, then Blake will go. Yeah, it seems like it. Those two at the moment kind of give the impression, whether they are not another matter, they kind of give the impression of being the party muscle, but we'll split them, one with each group.
Yep.
He'll have his crossbow with him, but it will no longer be loaded. There's a limit to how long you can keep that string of attention.
Yeah, because otherwise it goes floppy. Right.
Like Aardvark.
Yeah,
I'm just
definitely.
going to watch this aardvark video.
Yeah. It's kind of boring, the Aardvark fighting though. It's like it's kind of disappointing. I hope the actual Aardvark betting is more riveting, and like hopefully they give them some form of like mutation to make them extra aggressive or something.
These are Witcher Aardvarks. I'm sure that they're much more aggressive.
You
than-
could
Blight
hypothetically mutate an aardvark. Yes.
Yeah. Dire Aardvarks.
That could be terrifying.
Yes.
Oh,
Like,
like, they
literally,
just so
like,
impressed
literally, like-
everything.
Like a cross between a bear and a toddler fighting.
Well aardvarks anyway. Okay. So,
Hardwarks.
yeah, Abelard will go up and basically head to take up the stuff to the safe, leaving Hadavir and Hamus in the inn with Bernie cooking, a bag of shards, a box of shards and pots, and indeed a bag,
Which we still haven't looked in.
which you still haven't looked in, and I'm kind of thinking that even Hamus the Oblivious It's probably going to
there
be
will
a
come a
tiny
point.
bit curious.
When we finish the tidying up
Yeah.
and he comes back to think, what am I going to do with all these pot shards?
Yeah.
He'll think, oh yeah, there's a bag.
Yeah.
Again, likewise,
At that
once
point, he will
we finish
look at that.
resetting the tavern.
Yeah.
So, Skelliger, sorry, I forget your name. What was it?
Hemus.
What's in bag?
Total. I think it's probably about time we had a look, isn't it?
Aye.
Now, we took this off the wee fella who claimed he didn't blow the inn up. And he said it was given to him by the wee fella that did, that he says did blow the inn up. So either way, there's a chance that this is going to blow up.
You first.
Have you got any hocus pocus to make sure that we're safe?
Is that now the new sign for magic? Is this?
That
Hocus
at least was
pocus.
done quite deliberately in character. I have a co-worker who mimes using the computer like this.
No.
He looks like Brains from Thunderbirds every time he does it. He's a friend and I like him, but he really does look like Brains from Thunderbirds. when he
Oh
talks
my
about
god.
them.
Okay. Christ on a bike. We're going for 2.5 hours.
But no, I've got no hocus pocus to make us safe while you open bag.
Okay.
Oh well, let's do it the old-fashioned way then. I'll open the bag.
Okay.
Go on then.
Thus pulling
I'll
the
take a step
pin
back
on
just
the.
in case.
Yeah. You see, that's the kind of thing that I'm concerned about, yes.
Yes.
If only the two people with alchemy would have still been there.
Yeah, so the two
But these
people
things
with
are supposed to
alchemy have
fit.
gone on. We kind
Yeah.
of got this arse about face, didn't we?
Yes.
We did slightly, yeah.
Oh, I'm happy to let players make their own own actions.
Mistakes is the correct term in this case.
Yes,
Will.
it very much is.
Okay. It's nice to know I can have an impact on you guys. Right. So, opening the
That
satchel.
could be a different type of bomb. That'd be like
Yeah, this is an impact bomb, apparently.
Incendiary.
Drot is folded. Drot love having an impact on us, mostly physical on our characters, leading to the immediate demise.
I am just taking revenge for Isla Villiers and all the pain you put me through.
Listen,
What do you mean, we put
no!
you through? What do you mean?
Every second we trail away into something different is another like hit point Drut's gonna take
What?
from us.
Yeah, but what Drut fails to remember is that I'm going to be DMing Drut fairly soon. So,
Well, yeah,
I
to be
mean,
fair, that does keep everybody honest. You can't do the, oh my god, it is the GM, because everybody is.
I'm just
So,
saying, it's so easy to just heighten the rock level in every section you pass.
Yeah, please do. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, you're cool with that until it kills you.
what, from overeating? Okay,
Yeah, overconsumption. Gluttony is a real problem.
okay, so, yes, you
What have we
open the
got? What's in the
satchel.
bag?
What's in the bag
What's in
is
the bag?
a thick layer of fleece. Dark, shiny fleece. Feels slightly greasy, which is lining the entirety of the bag. It's about the size of a messenger bag, computer bag, and about yay wide, yay deep. And
Like, if we've been attacked by someone who likes camping and has very poor personal hygiene, or this is some sort of protective material.
inside, you find two cricket ball sized glass balls, or glass bottles, rounded bodies, and obviously a filling point at the top. A short
Sounds almost like
stem.
an Orangina bottle.
Yeah, not a million miles
Yeah,
off.
all Orangina bottles.
Yes. Yes,
Hamish will point one out
high
with
explosive
rather
Orangina.
less- Yeah, rather less concern than people watching might think was appropriate. Because he does have 8 reflex. No, sorry, that's the wrong character. He has, I think, 9 reflex.
Yeah.
It's either 9 reflex and 8 dexterity, or the other way around. Yeah, 9 reflex, 8 dexterity. It feels quite comfortable holding things, fragile things.
Okay. Yes, you can hoik out. The grease makes it slightly slick in your hands. And it smells a little. Not unpleasant, but a bit goaty overall. And as you pull it out, you can see that the satchel is... The fleece almost has channels carved into it. Only the fur has been shaved away. So there are basically leather channels, and it's designed with 3 slots basically. The bottles still clink together, but the fleece holds them almost pretty much in place.
Well, now, I think I can take a wild guess as to what these are, and what went there.
Yeah. As you pick it up, and I'm hoping to God not shaking it, you see dark swirling fluid and occasional pinpricks as it separates and then remixes as you turn it.
So what do you reckon sets these off? Is it the exposure to air, or is it violent movement? Because if it's violent movement, then throwing it's got to be bleeding dangerous.
I'm no alchemist, I wouldn't know.
And unfortunately, the only people who've used them.
Guess not then.
Alright.
I'll put it back in the nice safe bag.
Okay.
And then I will stash the nice safe bag underneath the bar.
Okay. Auburn. You're pootling off back to the tossed coin. How are you approaching the inn? And also, let me know when or if Dagwood's coming back this evening and how he's doing so.
I'll scope it from the outside first to see where everyone is and see if I can see the bag. Probably can't.
Okay. How are you scoping? Because the windows are shuttered.
Oh, poop.
Because they got blown in.
That's true.
And the door shut.
On the other side, because that's only one side.
They are windows at the front. There are. Let me just check.
This is a good
there are
point.
windows down the
Bud
side.
may not have access to the map.
Oh,
because,
good point.
He wasn't here when you shared it. Now, I'm not sure whether you made.
Oh, hello! I don't have a map. No.
You don't have a map. Oh gosh, I am sorry.
If you click on images and maps and there's nothing there, then Druck will have to share it to you. If there is an in listed in that dialogue, then you can open it on your own.
Share sheet.
Release me. There we go. In one.
Has that just shared that?
I see a map.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has been a minor alteration to the map, which hasn't been. It's been exported but not re-imported into Fantasy Rounds, if you see what I mean.
Oh, my apologies.
So on the left-hand side, there is now a double door leading down into the cellar, which is roughly underneath the window on that left-hand side.
It's always fun trying to persuade it. No, I don't care.
So
Come out of drawing
where
mode. Stop it.
Benches.
Excuse me while I just try and persuade this to go. Get off. Right, I'm closing it and reopening it because it's annoying me now. I went into drawing mode and I suddenly couldn't remember how to get out of drawing mode. Images, maps. Right. Fish, remind me, how do I move the... There we go. That's what we're trying to do. So yes, the left-hand side. When you say the left-hand side, it's in the kitchen, isn't it?
No.
No?
Which windows are blown out?
No, it's not in anything. It's outside.
Oh, it's outside, yes, sorry.
External cellar access.
Yep, that was it.
You don't really see them in this country, but you see them a lot on American TV. These doors outside that lead straight down into the cellar without coming into the building.
Yeah.
Like storm cellars.
Yeah, it's where the murderers live.
Top of it,
I watch
the
American
top edge
TV.
is roughly level with the centre chair on that furthermost, the foremost round table.
Okay.
And it's down to about 2 meters.
Okie dokie. That's fair enough. Okay, it is the front windows, either side of the door, so at the top, that have blown inwards.
Can I see this storm cellar door?
Yes, that's down the side of the building, so yeah.
I'm assuming that has a fairly solid lock on.
That does indeed have quite a significant padlock.
Actually, thinking about it, it probably doesn't, does it? It's probably just barred on the inside, because it never needs to be opened without somebody in the building opening it. So the obvious thing there is that would just be barred on the inside. You're
No, that's going to have both. That's going to have both.
fair enough.
Well, he's going to try it anyway,
Okay.
because he doesn't know that.
There is a padlock. No, there's a padlock on the outside. It is barred from the inside as well, though.
How do I minimize?
What, the map?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Right, let me just have a look there.
He's tried picking it anyway because he doesn't know. So I've got to roll it. Hope I don't waste a good roll.
You could.
You've wasted an almost entirely average roll.
Indeedy. Boop doop dum boop beep. Why am I looking there? And for God's sake, Drat. Sorry, I just had a complete brain melt there. Duh. Dippy. Right. Fair. Okay. So, you have failed to open the lock. Unfortunately, I am sorry.
One night. I can't just come into a fence for one night. Just to sleep.
No, you
But thank you for playing. Join us again, everyone, next week on Can You Get Into the Cellar?
It does, it does indicate out front that this place has rooms to rent.
Yeah, but they know me in there.
Well, you don't necessarily know that they own the tavern.
Okay, I want to see if any of the windows around the
running out
side
of the tavern
are.
and chase the person who blew it up, which I suppose is a bit of a giveaway.
If any of the windows around the side are all right to look in, I'm going to look in and see if I can actually recognise any of the people.
Right,
in the
can I take a decision, please? Because it was Hamus who was doing it. You shuttered the broken windows. Did you shutter the side windows next to the fireplace and behind the bench?
Probably not. I would imagine the other windows will get shuttered in the normal course of duty as the sun goes down,
Okay.
but the front windows were shuttered straight away because they're broken.
Okie dokie. Okay then, so...
Night, you've got no voice.
Me?
No night.
Oh, Night is muted.
Sorry, yeah, the dog was starting to grumble and bark, and I forgot to unmute him.
Okay, no worries. Makes a change
Yeah.
in her sleeping on the bass pedal.
Yeah, I've shut the door so she can't get in. Yeah, Hadavir was focused on writing the tables and chairs that he knocked over, so he wasn't touching the windows at all.
No, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, you can indeed, Auburn, poke your nose up to the glass and
Just
do...
like-
Yeah, you're a combination of what no criminals.
I've just got the problem that that's another line that scans perfectly. So I've now got poke your nose to the windows.
No.
Everything fits that song.
Oh, breaking in sailors. Oh, breaking in sailors.
Do you know that they're now doing a tour with the soundtrack? They're doing with the full orchestral arrangement.
Really?
They're planning a tour.
Nice.
Also, can you imagine the performance anxiety for the composer for Series 2?
God.
Ooh.
Look,
Yeah,
you
top that.
came up with this for Series 1. Off you go.
They did a really nice orchestral live version of the game soundtrack.
Mm.
It's really nice. They gave it away on GOG a while ago.
Yeah, yes, I snagged that when I saw it. Yeah, it's excellent. It's a really, really good performance. And very good all told.
I love how it's just like an entire professional orchestra, like all done up in black, and then you have Percival Shuttenbach just sitting there in their like period clothing. It's great.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, and then I cut out there a bit. What happened?
Okay.
I just lost you guys all
okay.
for a brief second.
No, we had you. It's fine. It's
Sweet.
okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I had a thing last time that where just night completely disappeared for me, but it seems to be working now.
Also, apparently, half a dozen feeds my net can cope with because I've only dropped 87 frames over this entire evening. So,
Cool.
I'm obviously not pushing the issue anymore. So, yay!
That's a relief.
Yeah, it is. I was starting to get concerned about that, but this seems all right. So, yes, make me an awareness check, please. I promise there are other skills in this game.
This is like Call of Cthulhu all over again.
This is
I've
actually
realised
my
before
games.
that most role-playing games consist of
aware.
perception check and reacting to perception.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which makes me kind of keen to try running a game that doesn't do such things, like the one that you ran for us on the space station, where
Coriolis.
there was no...
Well, Mutant Year Zero is the same system.
Yeah.
Um,
Where, like, they tell you to generally not roll. Like, the only time you roll for perception is when you're, like, entering a new sector and you want to see if there's an enemy way over there. Like, in Swedish, it's actually called specifically scout. Like, it's not even called perception, it's called scout, because it's supposed to be a long distance.
Yep.
But that's also the system who says that, don't roll unless, like, it's a lot
the
of
gumshoe
time.
system, which we have yet to play, but I have difficulty with the gumshoe system, and I really want to play it to try and understand why people like it. That doesn't do perception. That is, if you look in the right place, you see the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Using is very much like that as well.
Yeah, I'm going
doesn't do
to
anything.
run a Trail of
Got a
Cthulhu.
three.
Yay! I'm going to run the Trail of Cthulhu in Gumshoe. Okay.
Open rolled a
Just
1 and then a
one.
5.
Oh, dearie me.
All about the fumbles.
Oh, it's all about the fumbles. So, Auburn is unfortunately faced with a slightly smoky window and reflections from lanterns in the street,
Yeah.
and you're peering. So, would Hamus and Hadovir, who are in the tap room, like to make me an awareness check? And what's Auburn's stealth?
Oh, all that stuff is ridiculously high.
There's
Just
absolutely
tell-
no chance of me finding you.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Just
done
In
intelligence,
stealth,
my
you mean in
intelligence is
total?
Yes.
Because he's got 5 ranks, I believe.
Also,
5
where
ranks
did
in
I
stealth.
put my die? Okay, I've put a D10 down somewhere. That's going to be fatal.
Yeah, it would be a
Better
plus
than before.
15 to his stealth.
A 1 needs to explode downwards, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
27?
Why is there a difference between a 0 and a 1?
Oh my god!
All hail the crits.
Oh, yikes.
Amazing.
Eagle IA
Brilliant.
Hamus,
Decided
they
it's
call
now
him.
time for Auburn to join back in.
I totaled 0.
Now, where was that when we wanted Auburn to come back with us to the inn and make life a lot easier for everybody?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, Auburn, oh dear.
Jesus.
Tell you what, Spud, do me a favour and roll me a D10. See how badly he just fumbled.
How did you roll for me?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
I wanted to leave some doubt
He
as to
fumbled
whether or
at
not...
9.
Oh.
Did he fumble real badly?
Did
Okay.
Yes, sneezed. The loudest dad sneeze there was.
So what is Auburn's total -8? Because that's what it works out to.
It would be 7.
Oh. So you beat his roll by 20. A movement attracts your attention. Initially, you think it's you know, is it your feeling of danger, your innate danger sense? Is it your bumper paranoia? I.e., is it your practice paranoia? But you're not really getting threat from this, but you do know you're being watched. And as you glance around, your eyes lock onto a pair of startled, huge orbs and a nose squashed up against the window, as someone is smearing their face against it, trying to get an angle where they can see through the glass.
So tempted to hurl open the windows and ask if it's Christmas Day.
No, Nico Claus already left.
Yes. So, what are you doing? Somebody is watching you.
Well, do I have any idea? Do I think that the somebody at the window has seen that I've seen them?
Well, you rolled a pretty piss awareness, so he probably hasn't.
No, it's not. It gives no indication that you have been seen.
Okay. How long after I put the bombs away is this?
This is as you are returning from having put the bombs under the counter.
Okay, so I do have the concern that he may have seen where
Conceivably, depending on how long this person has been watching, they might have witnessed you putting the bombs away.
Right.
They may have witnessed you hide the bomb, hide
the bomb. I'm just going to nip out to the kitchen and see if there's any more of that pottage or whatever it was left. Why don't you make sure the front door's okay? Just in case. And yeah, the moment I'm through the kitchen door,
Okay.
the door casually, the moment I'm through the kitchen door, running for the back door.
Okay.
As my little Skelliger feet can carry me.
Right, okay.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go to the front door, open it, head out either side, shut the door, make sure it's secure. And given that
Okay.
we're closed for business, lock it and bar it.
Okay. Yeah, you can make it through the back door as fast as your little feet can carry you, indeed. Which puts you into the back courtyard.
Yes, going straight round the corner.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you're not paying any attention to the outbuildings out back or
I'm
the
not paying any attention
cages.
to the aardvark sheds, no.
Okay. Well, the aardvark cages, they're kind of runs. They're like big rabbit hutches. They are next to the bins and the microbrewery. So, yeah, whipping round the side. How stealthy is Hamus?
Hamus is running, so he's not stealthy at all.
Okay.
I mean, I'll roll it if you want, but he's
No.
really not being stealthy.
No, that's fine then, because it's actually
more than
not that
exactly.
far. You drew the map. That we're looking at 1 meter squares, aren't we?
We are looking at 1 meter squares.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meters.
I have a move of 8.
Yep. And if you're running, you can do double that. If you're sprinting, you can do double
You
that.
get slowed down by things like corners and
Yeah.
furniture.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
So yep. You can indeed. There is a shortish figure, nose pressed hard against the window, and indeed, Amos can reach it very quickly.
I am going to flying tackle this dwarf.
This is what you get for not being in from section
Dirting
1.
option
Sorry.
number 3. No.
Oh dear. And the centre forward comes for. Okay, so Hamus, more of a promising fly half, I think. Right. So grapple rules then.
No,
Is there even a point? He's literally twice Auburn's height. Like, I'm quite happy to forego any contest here.
he's much bigger than you, but he's not really that strong.
No, but on the other hand, he is running, and Auburn is
Yeah.
defenceless against him. That came out so wrong.
The one
His
you
speed-
really want to be doing the rugby tackle is inside barring the doors.
Yes.
I don't know, because we want him to be able to get up again afterwards to talk.
Fair point.
If you rugby tackle him, that's it. Spud might need a new character.
Yeah. What is that smear on the floor? Well, it used to be
Right.
the first character. Oh well. Never mind.
Yeah, I assume brawling's going to cut down. Grappling is going to come under brawling.
It comes under brawling, yes.
So am I making a brawling roll?
You are making a brawling roll as it's an attack, and the I'm not doing anything because I'm concentrating on the window defense is 10.
I'm good at it because it's based on reflex, but not when I roll.
Is that a D10 plus 10?
No, that's just a base 10.
I don't know if there are any convenient crates full of crockery for me to break here, but that's...
Unfortunately, that's not actually a fall flat on your face fumble, but it's basically you completely misjudged the tackle, and instead of you grabbing him,
tackle the ground behind him.
Instead of grabbing by the waist and hurling him to the ground, you basically dive at him and largely end up in kind of an embrace
Again, a romance option
at the
number
window.
3.
Oh my goddamn Christ. I should have known that the critical on the awareness check was just going to be to set me up for something.
Yep.
You take a running stride, completely misjudge your distance because he's shorter than you expect, and it's dark. And unfortunately, you basically end up in a bear hug with each other.
Oh, hey. You are nothing but fucking trouble.
You're being aggressively tackle hugged by this tall Skelliger you met earlier.
Can I just grab hold of one arm and take a step back to arm's distance, holding on one arm, or
Okay.
If it's gonna let me.
If Orban lets you, yeah. Otherwise,
Give
it goes.
it one good attempt to wriggle away. What would I roll for that?
What, an attempt to wriggle away?
Yeah.
That's probably going to be
Brawling check.
brawling, yeah. You're attempting to break hold.
You could allow athletics for getting out on the wriggling.
If you allow athletics to get him getting out, he may actually get out.
If you allow athletics, he's gone. I've got no job.
Yeah. It is unfortunately it's brawling because you are in close contact with each other. It's just that it's not to either of your advantages, really.
My odds are still not good.
Yeah.
I know that his reflexes are damn good, as I recall.
Yep. Okay, so I'll take a brawling from both of you. This is not actually a fight per se. This is
How
currently.
close is that?
Just a wriggly little dwarf.
Yeah. Okay, so you are both wriggling at each
The
other.
brawling skill made a difference there, didn't they?
Yeah. You are basically wriggling at each other, and you haven't quite got away. He doesn't really have a useful hold on you, but you haven't gone anywhere yet. So you're getting into this kind of Paso Doble situation outside the window.
They were the Aardvark Fighting Club all along.
Yes.
Maybe the
don't
real
know if-
aardvarks were the friends we made along the way.
I don't know if you got this impression because I didn't specify it, but in my head I was trying to grab him with my left.
That makes sense. If nothing else, then you could slam him against the wall.
Given which,
Excuse me.
That came out so wrong.
Excuse me.
Don't say that like you like it, oh God.
Talk about how awkward this whole situation is.
It's that classic, you reach out to push the orc off the battlement and roll the natural 1. He lightly caresses back. He is very embarrassed.
since Auburn is not making this easy for me and is struggling,
I'm playing a dating sim.
my right hand will
You
go
said
to
it.
my right hand will go to the hilt of my sword,
Okay.
and Hamus will say, "Will you stop wriggling so I don't have to run you through?"
I don't need any of that. I just wanted to see how the pub was doing. Did get blown up earlier. Can a man not look in a window in this town?
Tell you what, not only can he look, he can come inside for a drink if he wants.
I don't want to trouble you. You've clearly been through a long day. I can't imagine that anything inside is in a particularly good state right now. I don't want to be able to bother. I'm just...
Does,
I'll do my way.
does Catalina manure ever work on anybody?
You'd be surprised.
I'm not too sure that I would, actually.
No.
I don't know who you are, and I don't know how you got involved in all of this. And if it was just that you happened to be standing in the wrong place at the wrong time, then I apologise, and he will let go of you at this point. He's long since taken his hand off his sword. Anything you can tell me about who tried to blow my pub up this afternoon would be really very quite useful to me.
The only thing I know about them is that they really, really want that satchel back.
I'm not surprised about that, but why did they need it in the first place?
Literally, this expression is...
So,
I arrived in town and someone shoved a satchel at me and ran away for an explosion.
so I take it they've come to you looking for it back.
Yeah, quite insistently.
Right. Did they give you any kind of, like, contact information? Yeah, where were you to take it when you got it?
Orban's going to be looking around to see if anyone's actually watching him.
Make me an awareness check. Actually, don't worry about it. I'll do it.
No, I've rolled
Hamish-
it! Not very
Hamish
good
would like an
anyway.
awareness check as well, because
Okay.
he's smart enough to figure out that if they've sent Orban here to get the bag back, they're likely to be keeping an eye on what
Yeah,
he's
it's a bit too late actually. He's already mentioned out loud what he was doing. He
Roll.
just sort of panicked and blustered.
Fish awareness check.
Yep, okay. I thought you might be rolling it.
No, Orban did his own, so you can do your own as well. And I'll just
17.
save my standard trick of rolling awareness checks when you guys aren't looking. 17. Okay, the 12 doesn't cut it. 17. You are not alone in the area, although the market's closed up a while ago. There are a couple of people in the marketplace at the end of the road. And there is a, you think, roughly young woman in brief shorts and a slit skirt and a fairly revealing bodice who is strolling along the street on which your inn stands
Look,
at the
if
end
they
of.
haven't given you, if they haven't given you anywhere to take it, they might be watching you. So I'm just going to make a bit of a show here. I'd like you to play along for both of our sakes. Now he will draw the sword.
Yeah, okay, Orban's quite happy to play along and
Once
fix
again, grab hold of Orban's arm and march him round in through the back door where he's just come from. Doing it that way round, because that way he can make sure that he has barred said door behind him on the way in.
Okay. Bernie did not come out, by the way. She was in the kitchen. I had said she was gone off to make dinner. She didn't come out after you when you came bombing through. And as you come back, she looks over and goes, okay. I'll set another
Apparently
place.
It's apparently being gay for picking up waifs and strays.
Huh.
I love the response.
Right. It's been an odd day overall. Well, I'm just serving anyway.
Bernie, I'm going to need a little bit of assistance because you know the inn, and obviously I don't know it yet.
Okay.
Have we got any bottles in our cellar? He will mime roughly the size and shape of the bombs.
Well, technically, yes, but they're quite expensive.
When you say quite expensive, are they spirits or wine?
Well, spirits.
Spirit, yeah, that's more awkward. If they were wine, we could have just drank them.
I could decant them, but
That's
we'd be
not a bad
needing to, or you'd be needing to drink a lot of brandy in the next couple of days.
Couple of days? What kind of brandy goes off in 2 days?
Well, it's not so much that it goes off, but once it's been opened to the air and exposed,
No, it won't keep.
it loses a lot of the bouquet and starts waxing positively lyrical about the scents and the nose and the aftertaste
I
and
don't suppose there's any chance that we might have an empty bottle from one of those that's been drunk in the past.
well, no, unfortunately.
No, that would be asking too much, wouldn't it?
It would. I'm very sorry. We don't tend to open them, and we tend to sell the whole bottle if someone's coming in for a celebration.
I getcha. Never mind, doesn't matter. I'm sure I can figure something out.
But yeah, and certainly we've got the spirits.
So you say you're serving up. That's grand. Well then, young... I don't know your name.
Orban.
Good to meet you.
Auburn's got this whole kicking the ground sort of.
Yeah,
Orban.
he's okay.
Like a
Hamish
teenager
has
that's just been
tried
told
not
off.
to get him in trouble, so he's trusting Hamish enough to give him a name, but he's also sulking a little bit.
Why don't you have dinner with us and we'll discuss what we need to do from there.
You
Out
might
of here,
want to
my
shut the windows.
old and trusted friend. This is Auburn.
The person I met this afternoon. Hi. Oh no, you broke up there.
We lost you there.
Yeah, we lost you there, Fish.
I really need the bathroom, so I'll
Okay.
be back in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
He's the fellow with the bag from this afternoon. Not the one who did the throwing. The one who did the catching. You see what I mean?
Right. Okay. Abelard at this point
Okay.
will come back downstairs and look slightly baffled at the extra person in the tap room. But Bernie comes out with crockery, cutlery, and a braised, by the smell of it, mutton shoulder. And assorted vegetables and some bottles of beer. And starts serving up to all of you.
So, you always eat this well here?
I thought this was a bit of a special occasion, and to be honest, it was already on the go. I mean, I can't whip this up.
No, we were closed, so there's no customers to sell it to. That's fair enough. Okay. I just didn't want to think that all of our profits were going in the staff eating this well every day.
Oh, no. Normally, we only tend to do a roast on high days. But normally it would be a stew. That keeps far better. But it's a combination of spices, you see, and that keeps the appeal going. And of course, if you add a little extra salt, then that makes people extra thirsty, so they tend to buy more, so they tend to drink more. And she stops and says, that's what I got told.
I can see that between you and Abelard, this establishment is in fine hands. We're all going to do very well here, provided that pig fella to kill us all in the next few days. So your job, obviously, is going to be to keep the place running nicely, and Dagwood and Ashbear and the big fella and me will keep us all alive, and then everyone will be happy. Still have to figure out where Auburn's going to fit into this, apart from the fact that he might have some useful information for us. And if that's all he's got, that's all he's got. You'll get a good dinner out of it and a drink, and then we can go on. If you do want to hang around, you do seem to be a bit of a sneaky fella, because I lost you like that, in the marketplace. Maybe you'd be useful. He's just a spy or something.
Okay, right. 2 things. I love Hamus.
So say we all.
Yes. Also, Fish, do you want to check your audio engine?
Yeah. The mic's a bit wibbly.
You were
Sounds a
sounding a
little
bit
bit like you're underwater.
darky.
It's starting to Dalek a bit. Also, Smash Cut 2. Having checked out your shops, the building itself seems intact. Loic seems not unconcerned, but
Living fine.
living fine. And has put into his own lockbox his section of the recipe, according to him. But otherwise seems unfussed and relatively unfazed for someone who had a bomb chucked at him relatively recently. Okay. You and Blake can then head to the offices of Niklaus.
And Nell as well, I believe.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was joint youing.
Oh,
Plural you.
English.
Yeah. Sorry. My apologies. A legitimate language gap.
Weird language.
Yeah. You fell down the language gap. It's awkward.
It's super weird.
Yes.
It's so dark in here.
Yes. Niklaus Beringer is the lawyer. So you can head to his offices, which
Then we
you
do
know. Okay.
Yeah.
Evening is drawing in as you head down. It's a largely residential street. It's not a particularly commercial district, but you know the discreet gold-painted plaque, which indicates the entrance to Herr Beringer's office.
Stylish.
Mm-hmm. Would you both like to make me perception awareness checks, please?
Yes, of course. I think I need to change dice because this die is fucking insane. That's the third 10 I rolled
Okay.
so far. I'm
Monty.
going to remove that from
Hang
game.
on.
Okay, sorry.
And now math again. And, God, I hate math.
Sorry.
Why, Brett, are you forcing me to do math?
Because I can't be bothered.
On a Sunday, maths on a
your
Sunday night of all
So
things.
9.
Yes! 23.
I rolled a 1, so I got a 9.
Okay.
That's where you're getting the luck from, Felix. You're stealing it from Monty.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm just siphoning it.
Apparently,
No,
there is just a balance to be kept here. Everybody's
Yeah.
either rolling a crit or a fumble tonight.
Yeah, I
Okay.
banished that die to the. I was about to say dice sack. That's just the dice bag.
Yeah. Radioactive pile. Okay. So, Monty, Nell is about to open the door when Dondrick notices something. There are deep scratches around the lock.
Hey. And I
Alright,
just
stop.
point to the lock. Does it look like it's been locked, picked, or brute forced open?
Lockpicked, definitely lockpicked. This was difficult to spot. It was only because you rolled stonkingly well
Yep.
that you saw
Alright.
it. This lock has definitely been picked.
Okay. I turn around just to like sort of look at Blake and make sure that he's after us and knows what's going on.
Okay, if you're looking nervous, he will.
He's not
You-
looking nervous.
Fine.
He's just checking to make sure that you are still there and that you are aware that something is going on.
Okay. So yeah, Blake will just sort of loosen his cloak off his shoulders and make sure that his what's it called? His cups, basically. I forgot
Yeah.
what they're called. Setting is nice and loose in its sheath, ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Break the seal,
I'm-
basically.
I'm
Yeah.
going from my mobile crafting tools. I'm going to like get the sharpest object I have and just have it in my hand.
Okay.
I don't know what that would be though. I'm guessing some form of small knife, maybe some small crafting knife.
It would either be a Sax-sized knife or an awl, depending on what sort of
You're
crafting.
chiseling if you're just thinking in terms of stabbing rather than
Yeah.
slash.
Yeah.
Did you say one of you
Uh,
said you had a Sax? Excellent. I'm so wanting to do a course on those. There's a guy locally who does the make your own, and I really want to do those.
Oh, I really want to make my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to just a small knife. I'm assuming
Okay.
there for like
Yeah.
things. Just gonna hold it in my hand and then I'm
The
going
little
to
old butter knife.
the little old butter knife. And I'm going to just as sneakily as I can slide it, just get the door.
Push
open.
the door. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. The door is on a latch. It is a door handle, so it is a turny handle. So you'll have
Okay.
to do that.
That's fine.
But it is indeed now unlocked. If you'd gone there before you went to your shop, it would have been locked. But
Yep.
sequence of events and all that. So you can push the door open. It is dark inside. From the light from the street, lanterns in the street, you can see that the door opens onto a flight of stairs. You've been here before. Not for a while, but you have been here. So you know that this leads up to the actual offices on the upper floor.
Do you see like can you spot any form of like light coming from any other place? Like, since it's so dark inside, can I see like light reflecting off anything?
Awareness checks, please, for the three of you. Looking into a dark hallway.
That's not a crit for once.
This looks like this looks like what's inside Fishy's front door, to be honest.
That's a 10.
Blake pokes his eye out
16.
on the way in through the door.
Blake, no night vision of Keravon.
Hopefully not poking.
No awareness skill.
No.
And a natural 1 that comes out at a grand total of 0.
Ouch. And yet still no major fumble.
No, miraculously.
It needs to be a negative. Okay. So, what were
10 and 16.
10 and 16? Okay, 10 doesn't get anything. 16, however, you can see a glimmer right at the top of the stairs where it turns to meet the office door. You get a brief glint that is then immediately covered.
Something. Come on, I don't like this. Don't like this at all.
I start sneaking up.
Okay.
Curiosity to kill the cat, and the cat's name is Dondrick.
Okay. Dondrick then can make me a stealth check.
That's is this in order of? Yes, it is. Give me a second. It's going to find if I have anything in it.
Okay.
No, I do not. Okay, that's a 1, followed by. Okay, so that's 1 minus 4 plus 5. That's not very good. That's a 1, I think. All in all.
That's a 1 and a 2. Okay. Unfortunately, your idea of sneaking.
First step in this creak.
Yep. You find the creaky step, and in trying to overstep that, you bash straight into the wood panelling on the left-hand side of the stairs.
God, I've done this exact thing in a lock once. It was the worst and most wonderful thing I've ever done. I was going to sneak out, and on gravels, you hear, and then so I tried to like get up against the wall, and my bow hit like a metal thing, it was a clang, and then a boom thud as I like hit the wall. So I know exactly what it's like. It's most embarrassing.
It's like trying to get into the house when you've come in from the club and you're trying to avoid your parents. You know, that's the one time you will find every single thing that can be knocked over in the entire
kind of
house.
Trying to play a dexterous character when you can't sneak for shit.
Okay.
And that's
So,
Dondrick now.
Yeah, you creep noisily up the stairs.
I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna keep going.
Right, I want you both to, because you're ahead of Blake, I want you both to make me an awareness check. Blake it will be harder.
Is Nell sneaking up after me, or is Nell standing in the...
I believe Nell was sneaking as well, because I'm fairly sure Nell rolled a 2.
Is there a possibility of something really bad
What?
happening to Blake if I fumble?
No,
No,
haven't
I
rolled
don't...
for a
Sorry.
stealth.
Okay, were you staying downstairs or were you
supposed to
just walking up?
Yeah, I was staying. I
Okay.
don't. She doesn't like this.
Okay.
Awareness...
Should I still make an awareness even
Yeah.
though those are...
Yeah,
11.
you'll be on the same difficulty level as Blake, which I'm not telling you what your numbers are. Please note. I know what they are because I got them in front of me.
I'm only going to roll for Blake if you tell me that it's necessary to find out whether he fumbles.
It's necessary to find out whether he fumbles.
I
That's
will
a
roll.
4.
No. Okay. I mean, it's not good enough, so that's fine. But it's not a fumble either.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was Dondrick's awareness?
11.
11. Right, no, as far as you're concerned, no, there's no sound. There's nothing to disturb you in any way, shape, or form.
No sound.
We're good.
Yep. Clearly nobody has heard your ineptitude on the stairs.
Yeah. Or yeah, exactly. Yeah. I am the wind. I am the stealth.
Okay.
I am the shadow of the night.
Black, convinced that you are totally creepy after hearing the phrase, "It's okay, I didn't hear you," come down the...
You're being so quiet. Thanks.
Okay, so Dondrick's about halfway up the stairs. Nell is down on the ground floor, basically just inside the door, and is not happy about this whole situation. And Blake is slightly behind Nell, which means it's Blake and Nell who are completely aware, and indeed Blake will need to make me a dodge check, or a reposition will do it, at the crash and the as somebody comes through an upper story window and smacks to the ground.
Amazing.
Can I try a catch?
You're going to try a catch?
If it's feasible to try a catch, I want to try a catch.
That would be an athletics check, I reckon.
That would be
What's this coming
Now,
from?
I'm
You
crap
said?
at athletics, but
Sorry?
Which story was this on?
There you go. Yeah, have a time. So, yeah, you're kind of in the foyer, so you can't see. It's going to be at least the second floor. But you're not clear because you're not outside. Judging by the
Right.
crash and the fall,
Right.
it's at least the second floor. Can I do the R again? No.
It's a one-time R. You gotta clip it.
Yeah.
yeah, don't forget that. Clip that. Put it on the soundboard.
Don't my I could have done with the Wilhelm scream, but I really didn't want to be that on brand. Right.
My concern with this attempted catch, if I try it, is that I'm going to establish a precedent of wasting all my luck on one roll every time. Because I did it and failed last time, and if I do it and fail again this time, it's really establishing too much of a precedent, isn't it?
And yet,
But yeah, okay, so athletics is on deck.
yeah,
If I blow all my luck on it, I'll have 13 to add to the dice.
roll
Is
it.
there any chance of me being able to succeed at this? I mean, is this just an utterly pointless...
It is not an utterly it is an unexpected roll, but it is not an utterly pointless one.
Right.
We need to get baseball bats. We need to, we gotta get back to the shop and stop making baseball bats. Nothing but baseball bats. We're going to get these bombs back where they came from. There's a weird accent in there.
Yep, that was all the accents, I think.
Yeah, that was all of them.
Yep, that once.
Hadabay
I like
has
to
a very
collect this.
large bat
Yes.
called a walking staff, but yeah.
Yep.
Well, okay, so I'm rolling and adding...
Blakely's has a very large bat known as a hand and
Yep.
then a forearm, followed by an arm and a shoulder.
Okay.
18 on my attempt. I've burnt all my luck. It's an 18. on this
Okay,
attempt.
I wasn't anticipating this working, but since it did, you hear the crash, the yell, and instinctively you drop your weapon to do it. because hands.
Well, the weapon, I haven't drawn the weapon.
Of course
yet.
you haven't drawn. Sorry, my apologies.
haven't drawn
Yeah,
it,
and you've got
so
your
that's-
crossbow
that's a
slung.
Step back, arms out, grab.
Okay, yeah, basically, a heavy weight. I mean, it sends you down onto one knee, but you catch the blonde clerk who was with Niklaus this afternoon.
I would be inclined, if I were you, because I'm quite mean, to, in addition to the athletics check to catch, require a body check to hold. But that's because I'm a bastard.
Yes, you're a bastard, and I'm not 100% a bastard. And that was a good enough roll. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, you are out of position. You're down on one knee, and you're holding the battered and bloodied, but gasping body of the clerk from Niklaus's will reading.
Okay. Well, obviously somebody who...
I'm going to rush up the stairs.
And that's where we're leaving it.
Ah!
Okay, you ready? So I am definitely establishing a precedent of burning all of my luck in literally the last moment of every session.
I didn't do it deliberately. You know, I wasn't... I mean, I knew that was going to be the end. I didn't wait for you to burn your luck.
It's
You get a
very
cliffhanger
climactic to
at
do
every
it that
session,
way.
so there's going to be an opportunity to burn luck at the end of every session, logically. You think it through, you can always do that.
Yeah. So,
Amazing.
the state of play. Felix is rushing upstairs. Yes. Nell is standing there going, fuck. Well done. Blake is going, shit, she's squishier than she should be. Auburn and Hamus and Hadavir are about to have a slightly awkward conversation.
Guarantee I'll forget every detail of the information I'm supposed to give them in the 4 weeks between now and next session.
3 weeks. It was only 4 weeks because I had literally no voice last week.
Doesn't that make it 2 weeks then this time?
No, I just bumped it on. I just bumped it on.
Everything's been shunted forward a week.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So
Had the lurgy.
well, it was going to be the lurgy. If I'd actually spoken this much last Sunday, I would have had no voice for literally a week, and I didn't fancy that at all.
Self-isolated,
Just
Drot.
as well, given you tend to use some of yours
You
to
had a
talk to your
sniffle.
customers.
Yeah, no, it's
we made it work.
I'm prone to laryngitis,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
if it starts going, then it goes properly.
That comment from Shard.
I'm just having a laugh because, according to what I've heard, this testosterone gel will start kicking in after a few weeks and possibly make my voice start breaking, so I'll have a sore throat.
There was some really vehement nodding going on there.
Yeah, Felix was not to explain.
I don't think my worst voice
I didn't want to out you there, buddy. That's why I was...
Yeah.
My because I had a very bad voice crack, like just like when we were doing the session 0 for this campaign, right before we went on stream.
Yeah.
And it's so far it hasn't been that bad on stream yet. It's bad, but it's not that bad.
I doubt because of the timing. It'd be really funny if my first voice crack was on stream.
Yeah.
If it does, then we'll just clip it for posterity. And
Yeah,
you can keep it like a little ornament.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you keep your first cut off hair. Yeah, just like that. Your first lock of hair. Just your first voice crack.
Aww.
Welcome to whatever this is.
Titled Tell Becomes a Big Boy.
Aww.
Why?
You're playing with the big boys now.
Big lad.
Okay.
Small.
Right. So.
Quickly want to say, Drat, because neither of us thought to do anything about it before this session. We've got that investigation extension for Fantasy Grounds to be installed.
Yes.
It's similar to the way you can take notes in Fantasy Grounds, but those are owned by you, and even if you share them so other people can see them, only you can edit them.
Yeah.
The notes extension lets you have notes that are public to all of the players, and it logs who makes each change to it.
Yeah.
So as you give your theories to the investigation, it comes up with your character name and what your theory is. in a combined document that we can use. It just sounds like a really useful thing
Nice.
for investigations.
It is. I do apologise. I actually intended to install that this week, and I completely lost track. I do apologise for that.
Is that something we all as players need to install as well, or is it just
No,
the
that's-
GM?
No, that's just GM side.
And then it becomes available to us.
That said, I'll need to install it anyway. Could you drop me a link to where to get it?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
It's actually written by, I can't remember whether it was the guy who wrote Morecore, or the guy who wrote AD&D. It was one of those.
I think you said it was the one who did
Pretty much
AD&D.
everything I do.
Okay,
It makes them
So-
really good.
we've left on the cliffhanger. We've left on the cliffhanger with a survivor I was not necessarily anticipating.
Yeah, but that's okay, because you've got 3 weeks to work out what to do with the survivor.
Yeah. Though I can guarantee the one thing I will not do is the murderer was Eck. Because that's cheap.
But it is funny.
It is funny, actually, yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for playing. I'm
Thank you for
ending
running.
Yeah,
at
thanks for having us.
Yeah,
a reasonable time.
Boy!
still thoroughly enjoying this game.
I have
The system
so
and
much
the
love
game.
for my boy.
So, yeah, by the time we get back, we will have a Chrono Magistrate again. So we will have Loic. Who, you know, assuming he's allowed out of Sri Lanka back to the UK.
Yeah.
Assuming, I would say assuming we're not all on lockdown, but frankly, if we're all on lockdown, then fuck it. We're in a good position, guys. At least I know
We're
we've
on
got
lockdown.
this.
I mean,
We've
see
got
several
the internet,
people
we've
online.
got video conferencing.
Yeah.
I've
It's
seen
okay,
several
I'm
people
quite
online basically
lockdown,
saying,
what
take this
would I
opportunity,
do?
play more games.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we're already spread across 2 countries. Might as well make it free.
Yep. Yep, we're
Good
fine.
point.
Yeah, we're sorted. So, thank you for playing. We will be back in 3 weeks' time, which is the 5th of April. I make it.
Yep.
That makes
I
sense.
concur.
Oh, that's a good thing. So, that's when we'll be playing this next. And she says checking the next week on, so no, I won't be working that week. That's cool. And I will see you. Next week is indeed Wars,
Yes, indeed.
Alexia.
I'm stepping into the GM chair for Wars.
Yeah.
And then after that is, I believe, Eclipse Phase,
Yes.
run
that's
by
great.
Yes.
Shard. So
I'm
that'll
looking
be
forward
fun.
to that.
But no
Yeah.
space whales.
Looking forward to that.
As far as we know, no space. We're not playing Space Whales. I
Yes.
don't trust him.
I'm
Okay.
playing the space squid. Or space octopus or something.
Yes, you're playing a space
Space
octopus.
I'm so
To
looking
be
forward
honest,
to
right,
that.
if I do Blake's accent, I could be playing Space Whales.
Space whale.
Ow. Okay. And with that painful note.
I literally only just got that part. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Felix and Monty and Spud and Knight and Fishy. And good night, and thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate your presence. If you're not already following, please try to follow. We appreciate it. And it's a good indication as to whether or not we're doing anything right. And I'll get this exported out as soon as we can legitimately do so. And it will go on our YouTube. So, which is Hobby Gamers International on YouTube. So seek us out there and chuck it a sub, because I think it's only got about 7 subs, and that would just be nice. It'd be good to get to double figures. And therefore, good night and good night.